Charlie.
That's Chris's dog. Gonna be the first introduction here.
Oh, he's crying over there.
You can bring him in if you want.
Charlie. Where is he?
Playing Xbox.
Oh,
I don't know.
he doesn't know how to calm. Oh, all right. Okay. Hey, here, come on. He wants his tummy rub. Come on.
One of the complaints from last time was that the audio quality was like not loud enough. So just trying like. I always forgot to talk like into the thing too, but I'm trying to remember for that. Well, this is Charlie, everyone.
Good job.
So he doesn't even like his own son, or what's the deal with that?
This little guy had puppies, one girl, 2 boys, and not only does he not like the puppies, he's scared of them and runs away at them, and they'll like corner him and then he'll growl. He's such a little only child. He lives with me, and officially, I guess my wife, and that's weird to say.
Yeah,
that's really weird to say. So he's this spoiled little only child. Look at you. Here.
So what's the bow for? Is that like a new fashion statement for him?
Oh,
or is it like
someone must have put it on him today.
Oh, that's a new thing though?
Yeah, he's not.
I wasn't sure if it was to like help identify or distinguish him from like his kids or something.
Oh, I don't know. He's a good little dog. I never had a dog before. This is my first dog I've ever had, and growing up, never had a dog or anything like that. And he's awesome. Like, he's so mild-mannered and everything. It's a good situation because my wife takes care of him, and I play with him every now and then. I feed him. And then I just, like, if he shits on the floor, it's kind of like, hey, why don't you pick that stuff up, you know? The dog just pooped on the floor, and decent situation.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm not much of a caregiver, really.
Let's see. So, I guess I can just fire these off.
One thing I wanted to talk about was Me Too.
We've had questions about that.
Really?
So,
yeah,
maybe let's just, when we get to them organically, we can jump into that.
Yeah, these days, GLL, as it's called, is not active, but I got other businesses that consume my life, and I haven't found the balance. I mean, hey, like 5 years ago, I had 50 more pounds of muscle.
Yeah.
And these days I don't, but it's one of my businesses is in a quote high risk industry, and it's really important that I focus on that. And I've had no choice at all. Will one day GL will be back? I think so, but not in the form that you guys maybe remember. You know, I'm not picking up girls. I'm not even doing drugs. So it'll be back. It'll be something. It'll be different, but it'll be based on experience.
Anyone who doesn't like that, though, should understand that everyone has like phases. It's not like you can expect Chris to be like going out and doing approach anxiety drills for his whole fucking life. You know what I mean? So because some people think that they'll see like old, you know, the classic like OGs of pickup on YouTube, and they'll be like, what the fuck is this shit? Like some video about like business or something. Yeah. It's like, what do you like? Do you really think you're going to do this for 30 years? Like, no.
I think we shared the whole mentality of pick up, you know, partying, whatever. It's a phase, and it's something that's necessary. But for me, it was like, I would say 3.5 years. And then I spent 3.5 years writing the blog about it. It wasn't supposed to be forever. I mean, it would have killed me if it was forever. Honestly. I mean, a lot of people call it pickup, but it was partying.
How many blog articles did you actually publish? Do you know off the top of your head? Like, was it just writing every day, nonstop, pretty much? Or
if you remember, it took me like a week or two to get out a new post, and that's when I was really going hard with it. But I think there's about... That's a good question.
Yeah, because I was trying to like... I was looking at my WordPress the other day, and I was like, I have like 200 articles or something. And I was like, I wonder what GLL is at. I don't know, just like the number I'd never thought about. Like, how much content have I actually made?
I think I'm about there, actually.
Yeah.
I made a lot of long videos and everything, but you know, the 20s was my phase of partying and girls, and then as I predicted and said, it would transform into financial, and I've arguably
like pretty much.
Yeah, arguably in this stage, I've been more successful than my previous one. So, I don't know what the next one would be. Probably something about, I don't know, like raising kids without them being monsters or something.
Yeah.
So
still valuable info, obviously.
Yeah.
Let's see. I know somebody said, "Are you still on TRT, or did you get off?"
Good question, and that's been a topic that we have discussed very much. Derek is totally my resource for all male hormone type things, and
which is funny because he was when I first got into this stuff, my resource for all that shit.
One of the reasons that Derek's been successful, and I said this in the previous podcast, is he's added new discussion to the conversation. And there's so many blogs out there that will repeat, sometimes in the same exact words, ideas that have already been discussed. But Derek has added a lot to the conversations, and that's why he is. I have no reason to not believe that you are not the most successful blogger, and bloggers selling you short, that came from GLL. I would be surprised if you weren't. But TRT, yes, I'm still on TRT. I actually got on TRT kind of self-decided that when I was 24, and one of my concerns was if I did want to have kids one day, could I do that? And at the time, when I'm 24, so that's 12 years ago, Google was okay, but there wasn't all that much stuff on the internet. So I really I had to trust, there wasn't, anti-aging clinics everywhere and everything like that.
Yeah.
I really had to figure out that, like, if I do stay on gear, am I going to be able to have kids? Because you hear one side effect about that is sterility. And I found out that if you take HCG, which I love this stuff, and I've taken it 2-3 times a week. I have a script for it now. I have a script for testosterone now that I will maintain fertility. And I had a test last week to confirm that. I'm 30 million, and that's like high normal. So that's worked out. So yes, I'm on TRT. No, I'm not on testosterone, but I'm on HCG. And I respond so well to HCG that I have, like, not high test levels, but like normal, mildly more than normal. And without taking testosterone.
When you say mildly normal, like 500, 600 nanograms ish?
I would say.
Because a lot of guys think normal is like I'm on cycle, which is like.
Right. I would say I think it was 520.
Like Chris does legit TRT, not like bodybuilder.
Cruise.
I'm on 200 milligrams per week TRT.
Yeah.
So that's something to keep in mind.
Yeah, no, it's actual TRT. I have a script for it. But I'm not using tests. I'm just using HCG. Test levels are normal. They were slightly below that, so I'm tentatively just saying normal. But sperm count, all that, fertility is
but you're going to get back on test after your...
Oh, I can't wait.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're going to have our...
but
working on the first kid. Yeah.
To clarify, that's not can't wait to blast. It's can't wait to get back to 600 normal levels.
Yeah, and like that, like I would never call myself a bodybuilder, but the whole juice head thing, that was a phase too. It was never supposed to be forever. Because people comment on my YouTube videos, this guy, good-looking loser, is always going to be a loser. He's going to be 60 years old, hanging outside a library, juiced out of his mind. Yeah. It's like, that wasn't the plan, bro.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, when I'm 60 years old, I probably won't be commenting on YouTube videos.
Like this comment, GL needs to make infields again.
Yeah, just... Yeah, I'm 36, But I'll tell you what, maybe if I were to do infields again, it would be a different kind of thing, and they'd be more entertaining. Like, they would be something, though. But, even throughout Good Looking Loser, like, I was in a long-distance relationship. I mean, open relationship, but nonetheless, any sort of going out that I did or filming that I did, it was all for the blog. And it's different. You're going to act differently if you're trying to...
have a very specific outcome for a very specific video.
Exactly.
Title.
You're going to do more crazy shit. Like what was it? I put a girl in a grocery cart, or I stole her grocery cart or something like that.
One of my favorite videos.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't do that if it wasn't on video. Plus, I had a friend with me. He's like amping me up. He's like, do some wild shit. Yeah. So, it's you gotta be living what you're, if you're going to write about something, if you're going to do content about something, videos, you got to be living it type of thing. And to be honest with GLO, I was past that stage.
Yeah.
But
yeah, that was, I think, a misconception I had at the time, because I thought you were like still in the middle of it when you were recording it, but it was more so for like education purposes than anything.
Mostly, there was periods in there where I was single though.
Oh, really?
There was, yeah.
Hair loss regimen. Your current hair loss regimen. I feel like we've talked about that.
Yeah.
But that'd be good to touch on, because you were at one point like the foremost authority on hair loss prevention.
Yeah, now you are. I would say, well, I'm not on a bunch of gear, so basically nothing, honestly. I use Nizoral soap or shampoo 2-3 times a week. Leave that. Oh, I have a laser hat that I use. Now, this fucker's like $2,500, so it's not necessarily open to everybody, but Capillus laser hat. And I'm not on finasteride, not because I think it just stopped working. Or after I got on gear, finasteride like didn't really do anything, even just test. Mm-hmm. So these days, now again, I've had 3 minor, albeit, procedures, but that adds up to like, one pretty, all in all, about 5,000 grafts.
Think you're gonna get any more in the future, or no?
I could. I don't really know. I don't know.
People ask me that all the time.
What's that?
About like, if I'm gonna get a transplant, if you're gonna get a transplant, what you're doing, what I'm doing, kind of thing.
Yeah. Why the fuck not?
Yeah.
If you want to.
Nothing to be ashamed of if you want to get a transplant.
Yeah.
So
whatever. It's
yeah.
It works. It's not.
Yeah. Fuck.
Yeah. Dr. Umar. That's UMAR in Redondo Beach, California. Dr. Stephen Gable, he is in Hillsboro, which is near Portland, Oregon. And Dr. Glenn Charles in Fort Lauderdale or Miami, Florida. Glenn Charles. So Dr. Umar. If you Google Umar, he's like the only Umar that ever existed. So
they both did really good work, I guess.
They did good. Yeah, they got the job done. I think I'd go back to any of the 3 of them. Well, Umar is a bit of a specialist because he actually took like hair from here, and like threw it on like the top of my head. So it's almost weird because
you can't even tell.
I have little like actual beard, like they're way fucked.
Like you can't tell your beard was like fucked with.
Yeah.
Like where specifically?
I don't know. They
underneath, like where you shave right now.
And they did it from actually the face. And if I knew they were actually pulling from the face, because I had scars there a little while, I was like, why didn't they just take it from this thing? Whatever this thing is under your mouth. Yeah, the sort of the throat area.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was some scarring, but that went away pretty quickly. I mean, they're just such micro little incisions, but it's called I guess it's BHT, it's body hair transplant. Uh-huh. And you can kind of use any source of hair on your body, hypothetically, to transplant the scalp. Now, these are good because they're real thick, coarse hairs. But you're not going to put those in the hairline. You're gonna like scatter them around there. And I think we did like maybe 300 or 500 of those. It wasn't like a huge amount. But yeah, that's like good filler stuff.
So those grow to like full maturity, like long, even though they're like beard.
Yeah, I mean, it's just if I had one of those trendy,
right,
Santa Claus beards or whatever the kids are doing today. Yeah.
Okay, let's see. I'm going through your comment section now.
So hair loss routine, it's nothing but Nizoral and the laser cap every other day. But again, like...
You think the laser cap has some merit?
I think it will make your existing hairs thicker. I don't think it'll help regrow because basically nothing does that if the follicle is dead. But it can improve the quality of existing hair, thus giving you more coverage.
I think it can... Well, personally, just based like anecdotally, I don't actually use one, but I think it can prolong the anagen phase to like make the hair healthier and longer and denser, but I don't think it's going to offset miniaturization where you're going to get any protection from loss.
Those are my thoughts too. So on your head at any given time, there might be...
The net result is still better hair, but you're not actually preventing like further loss.
Well, it might be, you might have... So hairs are in different phases, anagens when it's growing.
Yeah.
So you'll have more hairs possibly in the anagen phase.
Yeah.
So maybe 10% more hairs in the anagen phase than you otherwise would.
Right.
And thus your density might be 10% greater.
What happened to Scotty? That's been a big topic that a lot of people are commenting on.
I got to call him, man. I invited him to my wedding. He couldn't make it, but granted it was probably about $1,400 to fly here from Florida. It was it Memorial Day weekend, was it? Or it was like a long weekend. So
I don't know U.S. statutory holidays. Is that one, or is it in both countries?
What's that?
Memorial Day.
Oh, Memorial Day is
that a
dedication.
US?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, no wonder I don't know what it is.
It's a dedication to veterans who've given their lives.
Oh, okay.
In memorial love.
I'm Canadian, if you guys don't know.
Yeah. So yeah, I invited him to the wedding. He couldn't come, but I haven't really talked to him since. Now, Scotty was legendary. Absolutely. To me, one of the biggest effects he had on me was he made pickup cool.
Yeah.
He made like going out and picking up girls like fucking cool.
Like not like sarging.
Yeah.
Like cool.
Yeah. He made it cool. And from that, I had a way different mentality when I went out with him, or even not, that I was like, this is cool shit. And it became exciting, and not, when I first got into it under the pickup thing, just like, oh, it's so awkward and everyone knows I'm wandering around a mall or something. Yeah, he made it cool, and that was one of the biggest effects, and he got in my life, and also he convinced me to start Good Looking Loser, what became Good Looking Loser.
See, it's kind of interesting. It's like, why wouldn't he have started that? Why was it him pushing you to do it?
Because Scotty was real. He was all about the game. Like he was literally like, what a gay thing to say right there. But it was like, he was just like, he's not like a tech guy at all.
Yeah.
He has ADHD, and he would never,
not that you were at the time though.
No. But like, I saw potential possibly in like this being like a career.
Yeah.
Or making money.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm not going to have to sell gear anymore, I can actually have a website and passive income. He never wanted any of that. Like he kind of wanted to help people, but he also just wanted to get laid, like nonstop.
I'm surprised you even knew that you could make like passive income at that time, because to me, it didn't occur to me that you could write content and then like put affiliate links in and get, like the I don't know, it just didn't cross my mind.
It did to me, because when I bought the main thing on GLL, I never sold any like pickup courses or ebooks, was Bathmate. It was a penis pump, and it's one that actually works. I remember when I bought it at the time, it was from this other website, and I knew that the guy or the group that ran it like got commissions, because they would thank me and they would be straightforward about it. And so I was like, they make money, and I guess they somehow keep track of it or whatever. So it was a great product. I introduced it to, I think I've sold, I'd be surprised if I wasn't over 30,000 penis pumps sold.
Jesus.
Yeah, it's been good. And that was like, Good Looking Loser will be forever linked to the Bathmate.
Yeah.
And it's kind of wild though. It's just like, penis pump's not gonna work, I'm not gonna do anything. But when someone actually uses it, as you got yours from Good Looking Loser. Yeah. It's like, what the hell is it? Like, holy, it becomes like this new like lifestyle.
Yeah.
So
it's like an extra workout routine too.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. It's good on the forearms too. Yeah. Not to mention the other areas, but there was GLL was good because I brought people game changers. I really did for a period of time, and but we're still doing it today. I mean, I'm involved in Gorilla Mind, as you guys may know. Derek is the general manager of the company, potential future owner, but we'll have to see how that works. Incredible supplement, just absolutely incredible. So
link in bio or video description if this is YouTube.
Yeah,
so
Gorilla Mind's wild, man. I think it's I introduced Phenibut to people, Kratom to people, Bathmate to people, and Derek actually made this. I mean, I had some input on it, but this is mainly Derek making it. And for something legal, it's incredible. It's one of those supplements that maybe you would take like 15 years to go, like, how is this legal? Like, this is incredible.
Yeah.
Although more stuff was legal back then.
Right.
But you take this today, you're like, whoa, this is like a throwback to,
Yeah. It's like back in the day, pre-workouts that were legit.
Right.
Almost. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like, no actual real comparison can be made to pharmaceuticals, obviously, but just to say I have a modafinil prescription that I legally have.
Yep.
And I just so happen to barely use it now that I have Gorilla Mind Rush. which is essentially just a culmination of everything I've used in, university to stay on point. So
the average dose here, I guess we suggest 3 capsules. To tell you what a pussy I am these days, I'll take 1 and I'll be up for, 20, 22 hours.
Which is an interesting topic in itself, how your sensitivity increases as you get older.
You're onto something about that, yeah. I mean,
something about elimination time of caffeine and stimulants, and as you get older, it's like you have less of an ability to process it or something.
I try to think back to my 20s, and not just Good Looking Loser, but before. Yeah. Okay, I'm 225 pounds. I don't know. 12 to 14% body fat, generally on gear at least half the year, on elevated thyroid hormones, sometimes GH, taking diuretics before I went out at night. And I think back and I'm like, how did I live that way? Because now if I just I don't know, if my thyroid goes a little high because I supplement legally, a thyroid hormone, or if something that, I raise the test level a little bit and I start getting irritable and stuff like that, and it's just raising it that much. Back then I would shoot a gram, what the hell, going in the gym, let's get a little pump now and shoot. Yeah. And I think back and I was like, I wasn't so irritable. I used to live this way, but I guess I just didn't notice it. Yeah. I don't know.
I think it's a real sensitivity thing though.
I think you're right because
it's not, I don't think it's a coincidence that you just feel it 100 times more as you get older.
I told the story on Good Looking Loser. Look it up if you guys want, how bodybuilders eat McDonald's. Oh, yeah. And I think a lot of people have done posts on this, but I literally knew a guy who won Mr. Tampa who would eat McDonald's 3 to 5 times a day. And we're talking sodas, milkshakes, double large fries, 4 burgers and stuff like that. It's not that common because I know some bodybuilders on Instagram, they'll take a picture of some fast food and people are like, whoa, this guy eats fast food a lot. But it's once a week. This guy was doing it 3 times a day. But his secret was not only being 255 pounds at about 6%. Yeah. This guy was a sophomore in college.
Oh, he was in college at the time.
Yeah. No, he was my lifting partner. Huh. That's actually who introduced me to Dan Bilzerian. I was our little gym circle, him and this guy Tommy.
Which is a story you should go off on a tangent on in a sec after you're done talking about
him. Maybe.
I totally forgot to bring that up on the last podcast about you and Dan. Yeah, which is a fucking awesome topic to touch on. So, anyway.
So this guy would eat McDonald's 3 times a day, but he would take so much T3. He probably took pharma grade at maybe 100 micrograms, and he was always running to the bathroom. Right in the middle of the workout, he would run to the bathroom. And this would happen, I don't know, probably at least 2 times, but as many as 10 times in a workout, where, if you elevate your thyroid hyper levels, you're going to get diarrhea all the time. And he lived like that. Now, maybe that's okay, maybe I'll take...
Which is weird. It's at that point, you're not actually helping yourself stay leaner because you're just ripping muscle off your frame, which would help you stay leaner. Yeah. So, it makes me wonder if they really know what they're doing, or it's just their genetics are so good that they're it allows them to get away with it. Because somebody who's smart would never take 100 micrograms of T3 even to stay lean. That's actually counterproductive.
And then you can take something like Imodium, to prevent any diarrhea and stuff like that. But the anxiety that he was probably living with, it's just if anything. So what Derek was saying, my sensitivity is different these days, whereas in my thyroid or my testosterone or whatever is just a little bit off. I'll feel it, I'll notice it. But back in the day, it could be I could be in hyperthyroid range and just going along, probably sweating like a monster. But just this is life. Yeah, it's not like that anymore. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Dan Bilzerian. Almost forgot.
Yeah. So we went to the University of Florida together, and I met Dan Bilzerian before he was, Dan Bilzerian, and I had transferred to the University of Florida, and he was one of my first friends there actually, and he was he's the life of the party type of guy, but not in a really attention-seeking way. I have nothing good things to say.
Is he an extrovert, or what do you mean by life of the party?
He at least Dan came off he actually wanted to meet people. Now we had stuff in common, and maybe he thought he could get gear for me or whatever. But yeah, like he was one of my first friends at the University of Florida, not because I went up to him, but he like went up to me. He's like, "You're new here and you're fucking huge. I'm Dan." And I'm just like, "Oh, hey," you know, because remember back then, college, University of Florida, like I'm still kind of like not that comfortable in my own skin.
Right.
And I'm new at the school. When you transfer to a big school like Florida, it's like it's so hard to get into the social fabric of the school. But I got into this gym social fabric, which was my natural environment there. And Dan was probably the second or third person. Guess who the first person I met at Florida was? First friend from orientation. You're not going to know who this is, but others will know. Aaron Hernandez. Aaron Hernandez. The Super Bowl champion, two-time Super Bowl champion, Aaron Hernandez, convicted of first-degree murder, hung himself in jail. Aaron Hernandez. They examined his brain. He had CTE.
Oh, geez.
And that, honestly, like
just from getting crushed in football?
Yeah, just head injury after head injury.
Right.
And like he killed his I guess wife's or his fiance's sister's boyfriend or something. Jeez. Took him out to this like trash dump or lumberyard and shot him in the back of the head.
Wow.
He's an NFL player. You know, he'd already made $20 million playing for the New England Patriots, catching balls from Tom Brady. And not a legendary Florida Gator, but definitely so. So it was wild when I was on campus there. Now, Dan became a celebrity after the fact, but there was Tebow, there was Aaron Hernandez. We won national titles, Joakim Noah. I was at Florida at the peak of just when to be there.
Yeah.
And what was I doing? Nothing but going to the gym and coming back to my apartment to like research more gym stuff. But that's what I was doing at the time.
Yeah.
You know, and nothing else would have made sense. So Dan eventually went out to LA, and I was living there in LA too. And I was in San Diego, like doing this law school thing for like 10 days. And he texted me from LA, like, people are so full of shit up here. Like, you know, why don't you come up for the night? I'm like, I'm in San Diego. He's like, great, come. I'm like, dude, it's like 3 hours away.
Yeah.
And he's like, all right, whatever. So when I did move to LA, Dan was always still trying to invite me to parties, but I think he was like inviting everybody. Yeah. It's not, you know, so it wasn't like that. But I was like in this phase. It was just real brief in LA where I'm just like, I'm not going to be around drugs and partying or something like that. I had this little phase for like 6 months when I just got to LA. I'm like, I'm going to just do it the right way. I'm not going to party. I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do that. All I'm going to do is go to the gym and talk to girls in a sober state. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
That didn't last. We were supposed to do this. I was going to Vegas, and he had moved there, and we were going to do this interview, but he wasn't in town I tried to get him like 6 months ahead of time, but he blew up in
interview for GLO. Like
yeah. I was like, the guys on the forum like you, and they like guns, and they're like pussy. I'm like, you want to talk to him? He's like, yeah, sure. But we didn't end up doing it.
That's too bad.
So I haven't seen Dan. I guess I briefly saw him when I went to LA, but I didn't really get together with him. Yeah. But I guess I didn't know who he was. And he isn't who he is right now back in college.
Yeah.
But he would say to me, he's like, yo, come down to South Florida this weekend. Come down to, I forgot where he was from, but it was in South Florida. He's like, we got this mansion. We're having a party. I was thinking to myself, this kid's so full of fucking shit, but what a nice guy. And so I asked people about him. They're like, oh yeah, that's Dan. His dad's like real rich, and he I don't know if he played poker by that time. I'm like, oh really? He's like, yeah, you should go. So I'm like, okay. He had a lot of people vouch for him, but in my interactions with Dan, he was a real genuine guy.
Yeah.
His stuff on Instagram, it's not like an act.
Yeah.
But he's not as arrogant as he likes to push social media people's buttons, you know? But to like his friends, like all I remember, he was like my third friend at the University of Florida. He came up to me in the gym, introduced himself, and from that point on, invited me to a lot of stuff. But I was like, oh, I gotta, go home. I have 2 more meals to eat these days. I sometimes made it out, but yeah, he was really good. He kept telling me, he was like, my mom. He goes, I gotta get out of here, man. I'm not doing college anymore. And I'm hardly like red pill back then.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, you owe it to your mom to finish here. I'm like, what are you gonna do? He's like, no, I just can't do it anymore. I'm gonna drop out. I'm like, dude, you got like 2 more semesters. It's fun here. But I had no idea like how much money he may have in the bank and what he was gonna go do.
Yeah.
So I'm just like parroting this like.
Yeah.
I'm like, do it for your mom, bro. I was like dead serious.
I'm trying to imagine like 255 you like giving that.
Dan was a big dude then too, actually.
Like bigger, like significantly different than he is now, or I always thought he kind of looked the same for like his whole duration of.
I haven't looked at pictures of Actually, I'm friends with his brother. Well, I'm friends with both of them on Facebook, but I actually talked to his brother.
Yeah,
he has a brother. Did you know that?
Yeah. He's like low key though.
Yeah, Adam. I think it's Adam Bilzerian. He renounced his U.S. citizenship and moved to this island. Like when they put their father in jail for a period of time. Adam, who's like a staunch libertarian, like I totally like we're on the same page on just about everything politically. He actually left the USA, disavowed his citizenship, and now he lives in Nevis and Kitts, I think. It's a small little island where everything's really expensive. So yeah, I actually just kind of became friends with his brother separately from even knowing Dan. So that was kind of random.
How'd that come about?
Just probably on Facebook. We were in the same circles, and I was like, I know that last name.
Yeah.
And I just started talking to him, and he's got a book, and I bought it, and yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. So, yeah, Dan.
How good was he at getting girls at parties and stuff back then?
I have no idea, but he was. So the parties that I don't even know.
Yeah.
Dan is a cool dude.
Yeah.
So it's like he's fine. And he had like he was more about having fun than getting girls, honestly.
And those are the guys who usually get the girls.
Yeah, exactly. He was in a frat at the University of Florida, and it was this frat that was like the wild frat. Was it Pike, or am I? I went to 8 different colleges, so I don't remember all the fraternities. So if I'm wrong on that, but yeah, Dan was definitely in the party frat. So he had that circle, and he had the gym circle. He was the kind of guy you want to be around. He brought people up. I never became that person. Even in my prime of picking up girls, I wasn't a guy. I was only out there for myself. I was never like a party, like, oh, this guy's fun. What do we do next? Like that never turned out to be me. I tried to be that character for a while, but it just wasn't me.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
that's not the type. You don't need to be that type.
Yeah.
Just the center of attention. Like Scotty was. He real low key.
Yeah.
Didn't talk or look to anybody except the girl he wanted to fuck.
Yeah. And
that's all he did. So that was more maybe me.
Yeah.
But Bilzerian was he was a good kid. My partner, actually my training partner, Mr. Tampa, like he'd hang out with him all the time. They would like shoot like skeet off his balcony and stuff. I don't know. He was some guy who came up to me, introduced himself, introduced me to his circles. Hey, come to our parties and stuff like that. And if I wasn't so like focused on the gym at the time, I mean, I made it out. I'm not saying I didn't, but he would have been like, he's a cool dude. He actually is.
Yeah, I always found that crazy interesting.
I haven't looked at his Instagram in a number of years, so I don't know what he's doing these days, but I assume like the same thing, just just being famous or something. Yeah. On the real though, Dan he's like, I always remember him as a pretty cool kid, and I was like grateful that he was just like nice to me. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was cool because he wasn't like, oh, this could have been part of the conversation. I don't know if it can be inserted or something. It was cool.
Yeah. Obviously, you can edit that shit in. Go ahead.
Well, it was cool meeting Dan at Florida because he was like a normal dude. He trained with the bodybuilders. He trained hard. He trains, the Navy SEAL thing. It's all real. He'd work his ass off, but he wasn't a bodybuilder. But he was like a cool dude. So most of my friends were just like your average meatheads. I suppose I was at the time too. But like he was in the gym, but he wasn't a bodybuilder. He was into partying, but he wasn't just like a frat boy. He was a lot of different things. And I became friends with, I think, one of his best friends, Tommy. And it was just a little circle of us in the gym. I was thankful to meet the guy. I don't know. Here's me telling him, like, you need to stay in college. Yeah. It's like, but I have $29 million. Yeah. Like, bro, you owe it to your mom. This is, I don't know.
Meanwhile, you've like jumped.
I didn't quite know that he had a whole bunch of money when I was in college, but he was a cool dude.
So I was curious to know how Chris managed to get the first few strains of Kratom. Did he go out to Thailand and hit up farmers in person?
Okay, so on that, no, I didn't go out to Thailand. And by the way, most of the Kratom's from Indonesia. But what I did was, when I started Happy Hippo, that's my Kratom company, and what it's basically consumed my life for better or worse. I had a couple of suppliers that I bought from as a consumer. Yeah. And I went to them and I was like, can I start buying in bulk? Some said yes, some said no.
Right.
So I ended up buying from this one site, and it was a lot. The kilos were probably that, which is Magic Hippo, I was buying for like $395 a kilo. I bought like 5 of them.
Right.
So I went to where I bought it from, asked if they could cut me a wholesale deal, and I mean, bulk at the time was like, oh, I'll buy 10 kilos from you. That was like bulk for me.
Yeah.
These days it's like 10 tons or something. So, I just went to the people I bought Kratom from and said, hey, maybe you can give me a discount on a bigger thing. So I just started there, and, that's where I started. I started where I knew the Kratom was good. And then eventually, and this was just luck, but a shipment arrived on my doorstep from the place in Oregon, which I would get my Kratom from, the real expensive stuff. And I had bought more than I ever bought before. So they left it in its original packaging. Yeah. And on the original packaging was the Indonesian supplier.
Oh.
Yeah, his return address was in there, and it must have been a mistake.
Yeah.
So I kept buying from them for a little while, but I wanted to look into this name that I got. Yeah. I literally got a name there. And it turned out that the guy does owe me $72,000, this Indonesian source who just stopped sending it. But for a while there, we had a good relationship, and so basically I ended up getting the actual Indonesian small farmer that was supplying my vendor, and after that it was great. But the guy, I don't know if he went scammer. He kept sending me pictures of like, oh, it's my brother in the hospital and stuff like that, and so February of, I guess, 2017, he just like, was it 2017, 2018? I think it was 2018. It's been like a little over a year. He just, we had an order. I think it was, $72,000 worth.
Yeah.
And he ended up sending me, I think, 160 of the amount, 160 kilos. And then it was something about taxes, and my parents just died, and my brother just died. And I was like, okay, great. Well, I'll come to Indonesia. And he was like, no, don't do that. Don't do that. He doesn't answer my emails anymore. He's probably long gone. He could be dead. But you'd be surprised losing $72,000. I'm the stories of my industry, and even the people in it and everything like that. I've learned to build up a thick skin to taking big losses.
Yeah.
You can't, and in the business that I'm in, you can't, it's just like, it's part of doing business. Like Phenibut, I ordered 1,000 kilos of Phenibut. So how much is that? I think it was like $212 a kilo times, no. So it wasn't 1,000. 500 kilos times, I think, 212. So yeah, $106,000.
Christ.
Destroyed by customs. Completely destroyed by customs.
And not even legally destroyed by customs.
Well, I don't know. I think no, usually not. But I was, this is way back when we were operating out of a basement. and I ordered Phenibut like just to the basement, and usually, to the address. And, it never showed up, and then I kind of heard like, oh, well, you need to import Phenibut to a FDA registered facility. And I was like, was that why I lost it? I don't even know. So I stopped doing business.
It's like so not the case in real life.
It shouldn't be. They just destroyed it all.
Yeah.
So after the Indonesian thing happened and the Phenibut thing the year before, I was like, look, I'll pay more money for someone else to import it.
Yeah.
And that's what we've been doing since.
That's a pretty thorough answer. This first one I skipped over was, actually, I think we answered that one. Will Chris ever move away to Vegas, perhaps? How's it being married now?
Ooh, why do you ask Vegas? Answer in the comments below. I love Vegas, and we got to do Vegas this summer.
Yeah.
No matter the circumstances, we have to do. Vegas is real hot in the summer. Vegas is probably my favorite city to go to.
I've never been.
Yeah, Derek hasn't been like really out of his house that much.
At least recently.
He just went to Disney World.
Yeah, which was great.
In Florida. And he's just like, well, how do I get to the park? I'm like, with a car or a bus. He's like, how do I get a car? I was like, well, there's taxis and Uber.
We don't even have Uber where I live, so it's like, yeah, I'm like pretty untraveled.
Yeah, you're like me at this age right now. You have expertise 0.001% and stuff, but there's other stuff
just like totally inept.
Yeah, that's just totally not.
Yeah.
I read that about Peyton Manning. Yeah, I was reading in a Sports Illustrated article. This is before he retired. That he could read defenses like any best quarterback ever, just a computer. But he didn't know how to open a can of beans. And he was like calling, like I guess it was his fiance or wife at the time.
Yeah.
And he just could not figure it out. And she was like, he's like an interesting guy because he's like so smart here, but he couldn't open a can of beans. And like he couldn't figure out like what to do when a light bulb went out or something like that. I don't know about the beans example was one thing.
Yeah.
If you guys read the SI article, it was like that, but that's kind of like Derek, and it's kind of like me. I live in Boise, Idaho now. I don't know how to change a goddamn tire.
Yeah.
I've never gone camping.
Yeah.
But goddamn, I know how to sell and make money.
Yeah.
So, you gotta trade it,
Yeah. It's like a lot of people, they assume because we're experts in something that we know everything.
Oh, yeah.
And I'll get like comments. It's like, what do you think of this? I'm like, I've never even fucking heard of that.
Yeah.
You know?
I don't know how to pronounce that.
Yeah. I'm like, what's that? They're
Yeah.
like, oh, it's this. I'm like, you don't know about that? I'm like,
Yeah.
no, man. I'm not like a fucking.
I don't know how to ride a bike.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know how to ride a bike?
Yeah. I remember that actually.
Yeah, I don't know how to ride a bike.
Yeah. I know how to do that.
Yeah. So, well,
you don't want to now though, right? Because it's like
no, because they're always gonna ask me, go out to the to the river and drive, or the path near the river. No, it's okay. The reason I don't know how to ride a bike is my brother, when I was age 4, he tried to get me on a bike. It was just too early, and it freaked me out. And when I got a little older, I got rollerblades, and I was playing hockey, and I wanted to skate everywhere. So there's no need to ride a bike. I keep having this reoccurring dream though, that someone's chasing me and there's a bike there. Damn. We just put it up for the thing. That there was a bike there, and this guy's like chasing me with like a knife or something.
Yeah.
And I'm like, the bike is like, it's like a dirt bike or something, and it's running. I'm like, I don't know how to use this bike. And then it gets stabbed right in the back.
What? My dreams never actually get to the point of me like actually getting like physically like hit. Yeah. It's always like right before I get fucked up that I wake up.
Oh yeah, well that's what happens when the knife
stabbed and then you wake up.
Goes into my back. Yeah.
But the fact that it actually like gets in your back, like usually my brain doesn't let me like, if I'm falling to the ground, I don't like get to impact. It's like before impact, or if somebody's gonna like kill me, it's like before getting killed. Never like physically like getting punched or stabbed or like shot. That's crazy.
I think that's common as far as how when you wake up from dreams before you're like a fatality or something. But no, dude, it's like, I mean, I consider myself kind of well-rounded.
Yeah.
But it's like
everyone has some shit that they have no idea.
Yeah, you gotta have skills in life that other people don't have, like to stand out and be special.
Yeah, it's like, what does riding a bike do for doesn't do for anyone, really.
Yeah, I mean, I guess so. I don't know. I'll probably learn this summer, though.
Actually?
The whole family's like planning on like grab Chris and steal his car or something, and then he's gonna have to ride a bike. So no, it's jack of all trades, master of none type of thing. Yeah. So I have I don't know how to go camping, or I don't know how to set up a tent or something.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah, and I see this thing. All right, now changing a tire, I should probably know how to change a tire. Do you?
No.
Okay. I almost thought you said yes. I was like, no, you don't.
No. You fucker.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't.
To push that question. We should probably learn how to change a tire.
Yeah, just go leave the podcast and figure this shit
but
out.
it's like, the memes go around on Facebook. It's just millennials don't know how to change a tire. Yeah. It's true to some extent, but it's just like, we just know the stuff that matters. Know the stuff that makes you money. Know the stuff that makes you pussy. Know the stuff that makes you get your dick bigger. If you're into that. Know the stuff that matters.
Yeah.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Yeah, pay someone to set up your tent for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I needed to, I'd pay somebody to
I wish I was a little bit more handy. I'm just like, well, I need to put this picture up on the wall or something. I'm like, oh no.
Yeah. It seems simple, but then you actually get to the point of going to do it. It's like, wait.
It's crooked. Yeah. Let me take this thing, the tape down.
Sure. He was like, this is a GLL moderator, by the way. I'm on the forum right now.
What's his name?
Kill the Inner Loser.
Okay.
Username anyway. I've recently started coaching guys about similar topics to GLL for money. I understand Chris and Scotty coached a few guys before GLL. And DC7, you obviously have your own YouTube and blog where you give tons of advice. Would be cool if you guys could talk about what is essentially starting your own business because it's something a ton of us are interested in after we have handled the getting laid part of our lives. It's almost always the next chapter after you have a consistent sex life.
Yep.
For example, I know Bad Idea Bear, White Knight Rises, Gravy Train, Rebel, and other dudes have all started hustling on the side. If you don't know, those are just username handles from the forum. Have all started hustling on the side or started their own full-time businesses. Did any of you, DC, Chris, Scotty, do any advertising, or did you just focus on creating great content / helping guys? In brackets, if you build it, they will come. That's a several part question. There's 4 more parts, but we'll just do the first one first. So
advertising, no. I mean, but everything's advertising. Your blog is an advertising, your content, your YouTube video, everything's advertising. But in the traditional sense,
no paid advertising.
Right now.
One thing I learned from Chris that I think he would have the same answer is he said there are a lot of guys that make content for the sake of making money off the bat with no audience. So they'll make an ebook, and it's it doesn't even matter even if it's good, and they have a 400-page ebook that's comprehensive how to do whatever.
Yeah.
No one follows them, so no one's going to buy it. So it's
you got to give before you can receive.
If you're paying for advertising and no one knows who you are, no one's going to buy your shit still because no one's emotionally invested or relates to what your message is because they don't know who you are. So you have to organically build up a following, and then they want to support you.
If Good Looking Loser was an ebook, take all the posts, throw them in an ebook. You guys wouldn't be watching this video right now.
Forum wouldn't have even existed with this, with people asking stuff.
No, you can sell an ebook after you get an email list of 10,000 people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say so. I've never sold an ebook, and people that's been everyone's suggestion to me.
Yeah.
And
you'd be way better off taking that ebook and splitting it into a million, 200 posts.
Yeah, definitely. But finding something else to monetize as well. And for us, it was male enhancement stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that it was a handful of Bathmate works, Fallison works, Bathmate especially. But monetizing it that way. If you have the audience, you can monetize it.
Yeah,
you really can. Now, some is better than others. A friend of ours is big in the political sphere, and he has nearly 1 million Twitter followers, or about a little over 500,000. And since they are interested in, pro-Trump stuff, that is what they can be mostly sold. So, books about, Trump is good, documentaries about how Trump is good, stuff like that. But you can't really sell, say, bikes to them. So you can't monetize everything, but there's an audience that wants a certain product. And even if they don't want anything, like they're just interested in entertainment, if you get enough people and you're just like, hey, we're raising funds because like, Wiki does this every year. Like, donate $1 if everyone who watched this donate or, saw this announcement, we'd be done in 20 minutes or something like that. You can monetize stuff. You can, but I don't know. You should be writing about like what you've lived, because you're not going to add anything to the conversation if you're, oh, I learned this, or, well, where did you learn that?
Yeah.
Oh, I read this other thing. Like, no.
Yeah, like my addition to that would be like, you're basically asking, if you build it, they will come. Do you just focus on the content? Like, yeah, just focus on the content and posting, because once the following comes, because they relate to your content, they feel you're like a foremost expert in whatever you're talking about or whatever the case may be, they will trust your judgment on recommending products for them to buy or selling your own products once you've like built that audience. But it's like, if they don't know who you are and you're just some dude talking on a paid advertisement, like,
but what are you even advertising? That's the thing. Advertising, come read my blog.
Yeah, that's like, I think it's just a general, like, I think it's like talking about driving traffic in general, sort of. I don't know if he's referring to a product necessarily. So like, I wouldn't ever run ads to like my channel or anything,
right.
like,
yeah.
So anyway, I think that pretty much answers that question. What doubts did you have about along the way? For example, I'm nothing special and my advice isn't worth people paying for listening to.
I didn't see. Now, I had a different mentality going into it, and that's why Brian had to twist my arm going into it. My commitment to him was I would spend 90 days writing up. The very first content we did was Scotty and me in that hotel, just like talking. It was pretty raw and not, a little bumpy and stuff like that. We were exhausted at the end. But my word to him was for I think 3 months or maybe 4 months, I'll write up what we learned. From my perspective, it's a little different than his. And I'm like, I'm going to be done with it. And then after that, I'm going to give fitness advice, because I was like a personal trainer at the time. But people really got into, like, my expectations were low. It was never about making money or anything.
Yeah.
Our plan was like, yeah, we'll put this. So we did a video and like, we're going to sell it. And then when we got the video done, I'm like, I know you want to sell this, Brian, but how do we do that? Because like, no one knows who we are. So I got the idea from Smart Passive Income. Let's give this away for free. And then I was like, we were kind of choppy in the video. Let me type out, like, let me really think about this shit.
Yeah.
And in 3 months, I'm going to tell a story. Pickup communities is a fraud, but here's some of the useful things you get out of it. Don't look at it this way. Look at it as sexual availability. You don't need to have a script, because that's not what the girl's like really looking at. She's just looking at your composure, and if she's single, maybe she's not single. So these things, and I typed them out, and it gained like a quick audience. I was like, okay, and I continued with that, and then I came sometime around probably after 50 blog posts. I was like, hey guys, here's some shit you haven't heard of, Bathmate, and people were like, whoa, and I was like, wow, this is actually like. This ended up being a career, because when I started out, I was just like, well, I'm just gonna tell people what I learned living around the pickup community for like 14 months and being in it for like 3 years, and then doing it all myself with a little help from Brian. That's all what it was. It wasn't kind of like, I'm not sure if I can make money. It was never for money though. But in that sense, I was lucky. I didn't have the monkey on my shoulder saying, well, you need to make $1,000 this month. It was nothing like that. So I got lucky. But I'll tell you what, though. And then when I went into Happy Hippo, I was like, if I can make, or Good Looking Loser, I'm like, if I can make 50. So I moved to Boise, got out of LA, got away from cocaine, got away from LA. And I was like, if I can make $50 a day for a month. So how much is that? I used to know how much that was. $50 a day.
50 times 1,500.
1,500. Yeah. If I can make 1,500, when I moved here from Boise, and I still had some income from personal training and diet plans. I was like, I can easily pay rent. I can eat all the food I want because I was still buying lots of food. Like I can make $50 a day. So my expectations were low. When I got into Happy Hippo, I wanted to make $100 a day. And that obviously is way exceeded that. GL is way exceeded 60. I'll tell you, okay, so since I'm not in GLL, I can give some of the past financials, okay? It's not that I don't care. 1 month, I made $78,000. That was a lot. And it wasn't always that high, but like prime GLL, we're like 60, 70. I had some deal with bathmates. So like we were making good money in GLL's prime. And yes, I did walk away from that because Hippo is a beast of its own kind. But as you know, Derek, we went into Gorilla Mind with expectations that were sky high, really sky high. Different than when we went into,
and then even when we did like good objectively, we're like, fuck, this is nothing.
Yeah,
because our expectations were so like inflated.
Exactly. Everything. Your perception of how you're doing yourself is expectations. It really is. And just unconsciously, I had low expectations. I didn't think I had low expectations, realistic expectations. Going into those, but they turned out to be not realistic. It was like way better. So after, going into, I was with Victor and Red Supplements for a little while, and we had real high expectations, and Red was good, but neither of us had like the time to really push it, so it was never going to be like Victor's still all bold and determined. I'm all Happy Hippo, and Red was like this other project. And it did well because, linking from GLL, linking from Bold and Determined, it did really well, but neither of us had the time to do it. So I asked Victor to buy me out. Like, it was that simple. But when we ended up doing Gorilla Mind, after having success, like just about in everything that I've done before, I was like, this is going to be, we're going to be doing 1,000 orders a day in a month. And it wasn't that. But what sucks is like the success we do have, we did, well, I don't maybe want to discuss Gorilla Financials. So, it's about expectation. I think I have a video of like my advice to aspiring entrepreneurs where I talk about expectations. Yeah. You got to like, if your goal, if you make $500,000 a month, most people would tell you, well, that's a success. Well, it's not if your goal is $1 million a month. Yeah. And you're always gonna feel like you're playing from behind, and that's just not a good mentality. So I just know any other businesses we go into, I want to have like lower expectations, and because everyone's like, reach for the stars, have a big dream, dream big. Well, that's great, but you have to.
But then you feel like shit the whole way there because you're underachieving in your head,
and you don't get there because you're feeling like shit in your head. Yeah. Sometimes. Yeah. So self-doubt, like not real. One of the reasons I didn't have self-doubt on GLL, will I be able to, like, because I actually lived that, like I actually did, like the stories I tell, it's like, that's me. Yeah. Hey buddy. Hey. Yeah, my weaknesses, my strengths on GL, like they are what they are. And it wasn't kind of like, well, and I didn't try to monetize the pickup stuff. Yeah. So, but if my goal is to go and make money on GLL, like it would have been a different approach. It still would have worked because it was like revolutionary, but it wouldn't have been as fun. Yeah. It really wouldn't have been. Like if there's a new, you got to really like live what you're doing to add any sort of like discussion, like new discussion to it. And the difference between like, I want to be a blogger and I want to start a bit, or I want to be a pickup. I want to do pickup and I want to start a business and I want to do them both at once. Like never in the history has ever been done.
Yeah. 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 I didn't have any doubts myself either. It's just like more so because I only talk about shit that I'm extremely confident. I'm like a 0.0 0.001% expert in, and I don't talk about anything else. So
yeah, it's funny that people like think like everything because you know how about like how androgen's metabolized, so therefore you know how to ride a bike or something, or change a tire. Here,
let's see, what was the next one? Once the getting paid aspect of your life is also handled along with the getting laid part, what's the next thing you want to move on to? Chris, for you, is it starting family? DC, are you still focusing on creating content? Do you feel you've achieved the getting paid part yet, or you still have more to do?
I want to have kids so I can use their fucking PayPal accounts. No, you can put that in there though.
Okay, I will.
But I'm not necessarily being serious. But I was like, more kids we have, like more PayPal accounts we can use, and no, don't use PayPal if you're not allowed to. Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting thing because like right now and some time ago, I've been pretty much financially stable for life and the wealth that I've acquired, but I'm in this unique situation where we're selling Kratom, and any day I could wake up on Monday and it could be 30 days and then it's gone, So I'm in this unique situation where the company and the popularity of Kratom keeps growing and growing. And I really have to tell myself, even though I would like to sit down and write a blog post, not that I've written absolutely none, but there hasn't been many, but the ones that I have written on GLL, like probably 3 in the past 2 years or something, I really did enjoy it. It was like therapeutic looking back at stuff. It was like, when you're like writing or doing a good video, it's like, especially telling a story or thinking back to your past to some happy shit. Come here. It feels good. So, but I'm in this situation with Hippo where I have to give everything I have to Happy Hippo every day of my life. So maybe if Kratom is finally recognized as like fully legal, it's a dietary supplement, then I can like put on the, chill for a little while and maybe go back to some creative endeavors. But I do not have an interesting life now.
Yeah.
I don't, not at all. But it's very, we help a crap load of people introducing them to Kratom. And obviously financially it pays really well. So after get laid, after get paid, after get juiced, what do I do next? I feel like it'll be obvious when it comes. I actually have a children's foundation. People don't know that.
Huh.
I haven't done much with it, but I have a Deoudes Children's Foundation. And now we can do anything we want. We don't have to like help kids. It's just the name of it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I don't have a cause that Kratom is my cause.
Yeah.
But I don't have a cause that like philanthropy would come to mind immediately. But I feel like I'll know it when it comes.
Yeah.
I really just need a vacation. And then I'll come back.
Yeah.
What was the question that was for you?
Basically asked me if my get paid part is done or do I feel I've achieved it or still have more to do. No, I'm still focused on content like big time right now. I literally just hired my first employees to help me pump out daily posts, which hopefully by the time this video is posted will actually be occurring. But that's like the goal is tons of content and growing my presence and getting paid's in a process right now and it's going well, but I still have much higher aspirations.
Derek's hungry, and if you took the amount of money you made and multiplied it by like, I don't know, 20, 30 times, there's only so much you need.
Yeah.
And it's a high quality problem when you get to that point.
Yeah.
So try to get to that point. It's hard to say like what's handled. You got to kind of define like what's handled.
Yeah.
Like, pick up for some guys, it's like, 100 girls. Or my whole thing with pickup is like, you can go out 3 times. If you go out 3 times, you can get laid like once.
Yeah.
That was like my thing. So that I got to.
It was like for me, it was like I knew I wasn't like complete with a phase until I just literally didn't give a shit about it anymore, sort of thing.
Almost you stop enjoying it.
Yeah. Like with pickup, it was like it used to be like I had yearly goals to reach of like how many chicks I wanted to sleep with.
Yeah.
It would be like how many 8s or above I would have in a rotation at one time was like another big goal, and it would always have to be like 2 or 3 at once, or else I was like, you know, insecure or whatever the fuck. And then I don't know, it's just like after a while you hit these like markers, and then eventually you're like literally logging it online because it's like your life, and you're like proud of your accomplishments, and you want to get that like dopamine hit of people telling you you're like the shit.
I never had that. Well, I wrote the blog.
The blog.
Post, like
yeah. Which is like not exactly the same, but it's still like logging stuff and like, you know, detailing your successes and shit. And
come on, settle down, okay? Shh, be a good boy.
And yeah, I don't know. After a while, you just kind of know. It's hard to explain. I just like hit a point where I was like, I literally like feel like I need the validation of like sleeping with some chick that I don't give a fuck about tonight, you know?
There's 2 types of guys. There's guys that go out. You want me to take him back?
I don't know.
I can.
If he's not gonna cry.
No, I don't think he is. I think he just maybe wants you to like pet him real quick. Yeah. Oh, he's nice. He wants right on his tummy. Okay. I'm actually surprised to see him do that because he only does that to people he like trusts.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So actually it's actually kind of a good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean there's guys that they honestly just love the feeling of getting laid and the fun aspect, the mystery to it, the excitement. And there's others that are just trying to prove something to themselves and get the validation.
Like the chase, I used to like, that was my shit. Like I would get like a huge dopamine spike from like, you know, I just like slept with some new chick. But now it's like not really the case. Now it's just like I want that girl in my life who's like stable and like I enjoy being with.
You want the girl to complement your life.
Yeah.
You know, the existence you already have, and that's definitely the most healthy way to go about things. But
yeah,
the words or 2 words is recycled experience.
Yeah.
That's kind of what it becomes after a while, as far as like, you know, the one-nighters and stuff like that. One post that I am gonna do. All right, he's taking off. Yeah, go see mommy. Good boy. One post I will do, hopefully by the end of the year when I think about it a bit more, is what to do instead of going to college. Because for the longest time, I had posts on like, don't go to college. And I got into college by pretending I was a Native American or law school. And it's dumb, but what are the alternatives? It's like you go in the Army, no thank you. You get a minimum wage job, no thank you. You go work on the oil rigs or something like that. To me, that's still unfathomable. So no. So what do you do instead of going to college? I have that answer. I do, but I'm putting it in a post.
Oh, nice.
No more details.
Yeah, that'd be a great post. My university experience, I went to university, not college. Sort of like the same thing though. Yeah, I wish I didn't go at all, to be honest.
Yeah.
Granted, if your like goal in life and like actual dream is to be like a doctor or a lawyer or some shit, it's like, unfortunately, you just legally have to. Not that it's like probably even smart to do still, but if it's your dream, then like by all means. But for most people that like think I think people are starting to kind of realize though that it's kind of like a scam, sort of.
Yeah, no, I mean the student debt is. It's a financial scam. Yeah. It's also a waste of time. You read that amazing Instagram post or Facebook
that was on
post.
The last podcast.
Yeah, about what that is. But what are the alternatives to college? You know, we just listed 3, and none of them sound too appealing. But I have something else in mind, and I write it as a perspective as a business owner. Understanding. I sometimes look back. I'd be like, what could I have done instead of college? Well. Could I have gone and been Good Looking Loser, not the blogger, but the actual guy for like 3 years in LA? No, I'd be too scared.
Yeah.
You don't have it in you when you're really young. You
That's
know?
true.
And you don't. I mean,
I think I got into it when I was like 19, but I had to like really fucking like push myself, and
but you didn't move to a city that you never lived in.
No.
Right. You still lived in this. Yeah,
exactly.
Right.
Yeah, that's some next level stuff. Going to like with probably no savings, like I had like fucking $100 in my account when I was 19.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Next part of that question was what unexpected things happened, good or bad, as a consequence of starting your businesses?
Someone actually, what's the name on this post?
Kill the Inner Loser.
Okay. Someone actually emailed me the other day, and the guy has helped me out before. He found that there was like some sort of Bitcoin mining thing set up on the forum or the website. So some fucker had put some malware on GLO, and it was like using people's resources, and people thought it was me.
What the fuck?
And
like where?
Dashed Hopes told me, it was like, yo, he's like, this is what people think. I was like, no, that's not me at all. So we looked into it, and we got rid of it. So the dude did me a favor, and he asked me the same questions. What bad kind of stuff has happened? No regrets at all.
Yeah.
And without fully going into it, we've gotten into the political arena a little bit. Not me as a candidate, but as far as, contributing to certain causes that would help my interests, especially in a state like Idaho. Some of the politicians will keep me at an arm's distance because of, stuff online.
Yeah.
So that's been a thing, but I would say that's more the major one. Not really like, I don't know. So that would kind of be the major one.
Yeah, it's like I can't think of anything that, well, like there's a lot of unexpected shit that's good that happens and bad, but it all kind of like contributes to where you're at, and like I don't have any regrets.
Well, without going into detail, like I was I guess arrested wouldn't be the real word, but I had to go meet with a certain federal agency about some content that I was linking to on my blog. And I guess they didn't understand the relationship I had with that party, which was virtually none.
Yeah.
But I definitely had to hire 2 lawyers.
Yeah. But it's like, even if it was like, it was well, I guess that answers his question, unexpected bad thing.
One day I'll tell you that story of when Good Looking Loser in 2016, like something happened, and I'm under no legal obligation not to say it, but I kind of want a little more time to pass by.
Yeah. Fair enough. Any other advice you'd give? I think that's,
Yeah, he's a mod. He'd read the questions. We'll try to answer them.
I don't know. Any other advice? Just whatever the fuck you want to do, prioritize it and like a tunnel vision on it and get it done is what I would say.
Look, I do have advice for guys out there reading and watching this. Like, to someone to make it this far in the video, you're a special cat, all right? You're special in a bad way. I know, because I was there too. There are people watching these videos that have extreme work ethics, and they'll go get it. They're going to be holding it down. But if you or think you may have some mental illness or something, there's not a goddamn thing that Derek can do to get you fully right. There's nothing I can do. I'm not saying it needs to be addressed with like medication or something. In some ways, Good Looking Loser, more plates, more dates, it's like it could be a Band-Aid to the bigger issue. The good news is, if you follow Derek and follow me, chances are you are a bit more normal, because like you have the pickup stuff and it's full of unhappy weirdos with different, things. God bless them, but that's what it is. I just think that if you know something's like wrong inside and you're young, even if you're not young though, like go look for help. Like really. And I know that people are here looking for help, but we can't do everything. We might help you get a certain area of your life right. And for some people that's enough. Like, oh, I'm getting laid now. Like what more do I want? That's great. But others, it's never enough. It's never enough. And there's not an amount that you can get or be given or earn that's going to make you fucking happy. I think, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that was a good answer. In which way getting rich became a source of pleasure for you guys, or is it another form of validation seeking, like getting girls in your 20s?
It's a good question. That's something I have to think about.
There's like this statistic that's like your happiness level it's been shown to like not increase past like 80 grand a year or something.
Interesting.
Which I don't really know how actually true that is, but I can see like your level of not worrying about bills and shit probably, being at that point, you're probably not worrying about money.
Yeah.
So like I can see that. I don't know necessarily if it's like 100% true, but I don't know. Maybe you have something.
Well, there's I guess two things. There's meeting the basic necessities, paying the bills, and then there's like play money, and then there's like a fuck you money type of level. Yeah. And I'm in a weird situation where I can't slow down because Kratom, like I've built a fairly large business on that, so I have to maximize it while it goes. Now, like I said, if Kratom's ever if Congress steps in and says, look, here are the rules, you can sell Kratom, you can't do extracts, and it's forever going to be legal, like then I can slow it down. I haven't had time to just to think about stuff. Money changes. I saw this in a movie recently. It's like, it's not how people look at you, it changes like how you look at yourself. And in that case, that like it is big for confidence, but it's there does come a point that an extra 100 grand or million doesn't really move the needle. Yeah. But I am not in that territory because I don't know that it all could be wiped out for me. So it's kind of like I'll decide sort of that later. I haven't hit that though. But I definitely feel burned out at times.
Yeah, fair enough. Let's see. Interested to know what Chris thinks his 40s or even late 30s will focus on, given he said before 20s, girls, 30s, money and business. And well, we've sort of covered that.
You guys are right on point. You're literally like I thought I would maybe have like some insight, but you're actually asking the questions that I thought were gonna like. There's got to be I don't know. There'd be some sort of passion product. I'm kind of product that we get into, and the name of the game wouldn't be to make money. Yeah. It really wouldn't be. It would be something else. Way back when on Good Looking Loser, yeah, it was for money, but I genuinely like to get my advice out there. I'm like, because I know how it was. Like, I know how the whole pickup thing works. Like, I was there, I lived it, and getting that out there to guys and having them be like, "Oh, dude, you made sense of this for me. I'm glad I escaped it. Not gonna waste like 2 years." Like, that was rewarding to me. Yeah. So yeah, it's something definitely rewarding. Yeah. I feel like it's gonna just like come to me. I don't know. It could be totally different. I like gambling. That's kind of like dangerous though. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess.
Honestly, like I wouldn't even mind just fucking chilling out. The best.
I think you need some of that.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, my favorite times of the week are when I watch something on like Netflix with my girl. Like I get to forget about everything.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like you've been on like fucking like redlining for like 10 years now.
Yeah, more than that. Or about 10 years.
Yeah. Let's see. Where does having fun fit in with self-improvement? How can you quantify fun or entertainment on your self-improvement journey? It's a multi-part question, but that's the first part.
I had that post saying that you got to do like at least one fun thing a week. Yeah. Like plan to do one fun thing. It could be like going on Groupon or do like one fun thing a week or have at least one new experience a week. Right. Like if it doesn't arrive at the threshold of fun, well, you got a massage or something. You like do something new a week. Because, like, once you have everything or whatever that you wanted to do, and hopefully there's a point where it's enough that you kind of go back to the basics and you're just like, well, I did all this and I proved it to myself, and maybe I'm not happy. It's like, just you have to make time for fun, honestly.
I think for me at least.
What do you do for fun?
Just go out with my girl, pretty much.
Yeah.
Like,
well, you love what you do, and
that's the thing.
Despite how burned out I may look right now.
Yeah. So like when you say what does having fun fit in with self-improvement, I think a lot of it is like, if something isn't fun to you, then why would you want to like max out that part of your life if you literally don't care, you know? Like, if getting girls isn't fun to you, then why do you want to get girls?
You know what I had to improve on? Part of my self-improvement journey was to learn how to have fun.
Yeah.
Was to learn how to be present.
Uh-huh.
You know, we go to like a party and there would be 3 girls there and we know them all. I'd be sitting there fucking pouting.
Yeah.
I'd be trying to ruin everyone's time.
Yeah.
Saying like how fucking it sucked so much, and you know, it's like, I don't want to leave this college, and I had to learn how to have fun.
Yeah, when I was like before I ever started the pickup stuff, it was like no matter where I went, how good of a environment it was like shitty to me.
Yeah, there was always something wrong with it.
Yeah.
And not you, but something wrong with it that was preventing. Yeah. I had to learn how to have fun, and I never fucking learned.
Yeah.
I never have. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
I'm a fucking killjoy.
Yeah.
That's what no one knows about me.
Yeah.
Like, I'll just bring everyone down.
Huh.
I'm just kidding. I don't mean that.
When I was going through self-improvement, improving was fun because it was like getting jacked or like getting more girls or making more money is like my current thing.
Yeah.
And like building my social media presence or whatever it is, and like helping people and like getting validation even when like people tell me I've helped them. Like, that's fun to me. So it's like
the journey. See, that's how you know you're doing it right. Self-improvement, if you will. Although, I mean, you're not on your self-improvement kick really, but the journey is actually fun.
Yeah.
And that's a blessing. Really, it is. Because you can be productive, you know, improve or build something, whether it be a business or your body or something like that, and it's fun. You're right, though. I think things were more fun in my 20s, especially when I was just starting out, too.
Yeah.
Like, not just starting out, but when I started first seeing, like, results, I'm like, dude, this fucking hot girl outside the gym, like, she's texting me.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is working.
Yeah.
This is working. And, you know, when you do your first cycle or two, you're just like, those used to be, I swear to God, those 45, they used to be heavy.
Oh, dude, going to the gym and, like, bench pressing, like, on gear, that was fun. Yeah. Just, like, crushing your numbers every week.
Yeah.
Fucking
you're like, this is working. Like, I am. That's the thing about bodybuilders, and I wrote that series, Plight of the Lonesome Bodybuilder. And it's not just about bodybuilders; it's about anyone who shows like real commitment in the gym. So bodybuilders or not bodybuilders, gym rats, like that takes a lot of effort. You know,
the kind of commitment that could get you anywhere with like anything.
Yes, exactly. And it's just like, if you take your discipline towards bodybuilding and throw it into business, throw it into chicks, like, you know, how many hours a week, like when you were really going hard at bodybuilding, how many hours a week would you spend in the gym?
Maybe like, it depends. If I was bulking, it'd probably be like 6 or 7. If I was cutting, it could have been upwards of like 20.
Okay.
Because it was like including cardio, but like time in the kitchen, add another like that's where the fucking
another
time
5 hours a day.
Yeah, like a lot of people won't even do that. You know, meal prep and like go fucking buy all the shit you need, and like the gym is the easy part, honestly. Yeah. But like I count cooking and prepping like is the same thing.
Yeah, just lifestyle. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so like a fucking lot. It's like a full-time job almost.
People think I hate bodybuilders. It's not that. It's just like, it's not for girls, man. Especially these days when all the clothes are slim and all the sexy, supposedly looking guys are, you know, skinny fat, just like me. It just, they can be so much more than they are. The ones that are really trying to, you know, they're into the the whole competition thing. I get it. But yeah, the gym has diminishing return. It's like money though. It's just like, okay, so
yeah, your happiness level probably diminishes as you like push way too hard in like business shit. I would think to some extent. Like if you're only like going after like increasing your bank account versus like passion project or like whatever, something that like gives you like gratification as opposed to just like I need my bank account higher.
Yeah.
So
no, definitely. One of the best things, and I'm sure you've entered this territory, or at least approaching it, is you don't have to do anything you don't want to do anymore.
Yeah, trying to get there. That's why I like hiring people and stuff like that. It's trying to get there.
I don't even mean in the busy work, but it's just like you don't want to. You don't want to do something like I don't have to do that. You know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I try to do that anyways for the most part. Yeah. Do you believe in focusing on your strengths and outsourcing your weaknesses in business? I sort of have like conflicting answers on that, but I'll let you go first.
Focusing on your strengths and outsourcing.
So like if you suck at something, paying somebody to do it versus you just trying to do it and get good at it.
When you're still learning, you should try to get good at. It depends, because some things are fundamentals that you need to know.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm I would say accounting is kind of my weakness. I get things wrong, and we spent this much money this month, not this much. I get it wrong, so I could outsource that. But it's important that I at least fundamentally understand what the hell the process is, so I'm not totally in the dark. And that, if you're gonna own your own business, like for a while, you're your own accountant, you're your own, developer a little bit when you're just starting out. You're your own everything.
Yeah.
You're your own housekeeper and everything. So you have to have a fundamental understanding of what it is before you move it along.
Yeah.
At least I think so.
Yeah, that's how I feel. Like as far as even like when it gets to the business stuff and blogging and YouTube and shit, it's like if you don't even know how to do something yourself, it's like trying to teach somebody how to do it. Like it's not like you can just hire somebody on Upwork and expect them to know your back end like off the bat and understand your products and shit. Like you need to explain why, like how you want something to function, why you want it to do it this way. And like, sort of like, even though they know how to do that job, the specifics of like what you're trying to get them to do with their skills, you still have to teach that, even if they're like technically better than you.
Yeah.
So like even my like web developer, I have to tell them like, I like this here. This is how I would do it. This is blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Like I want this to link here, blah, blah. And then like even the accounting, I like, I don't think a lot of people do this, but I like briefly kind of like go through it to make sure everything like looks legit. And
absolutely.
Like, everything's added up correctly and everything. I understand the expenses they wrote off and why like certain ones weren't, I couldn't write them off kind of thing. Like I have a basic understanding of like every part of my business. I'm not an expert in any of them, and that's why I hire, but like I do outsource my weaknesses, but it was like stuff I did prior myself. So I had like a fundamental understanding of it.
Yeah.
And now I can hire somebody and tell them like what I need them to do to take on like the more intricate parts of it that would be like top 0.01% knowledge.
You need to know the how and why of everything on a very basic level in your business. The how and the why, and then someone else can do the what for it. They can do the actual work. The first part of your question is focusing on your strengths. It depends. Your strengths make you money.
Yeah.
If your strengths is like, art and graphic design, well, if you're doing a website about picking up girls, well, that's not going to really help. But if your business is about graphic design, damn well focus on that. So you got to focus on, if your goal is to make money, you have to focus on what makes you money. You have to focus on selling. But so it kind of depends. Like, what are your strengths? Like, my strength is, something that really has, I'm trying to think of something that is like editing or like grammar check or something like that. It's like, well,
I think a good example is kind of like,
that was a bad example.
The cannabis industry. It was like cannabis was legalized in Canada last year, and that's obviously like a business opportunity for some individuals, and I was kind of like felt super urged to jump into it, but then I realized shortly, like pretty quickly, that I really don't give a fuck about the cannabis industry, nor do I smoke weed, nor do I even do anything. So it's like, am I really going to jump into something? It's not a strength of mine. Like, sure, I could outsource and like hire like some dudes who know about weed, and, like get farmers and do this. But it's like at the end of the day, I really don't give a fuck about the business. So like, that's not something I should pursue. Like, you should pursue a business you're like passionate about and figure out how to monetize it.
Yeah, and in that case, like, yeah, you'd be doing it strictly for money.
Like, I feel like the making money to fuel what, like, the capital to build the thing you're passionate about is probably like the best way. Like, if you like need to make money, focus on what makes you money, even if you aren't like 100% about it. You know, like if you need a fucking minimum wage job so you can like pay rent, get a minimum wage job, even if it sucks, not because you need to be like a YouTuber. Yeah. That could be your future goal, that you use the shitty job money to like pay for it. Yeah. But, you know, like eventually the strength, I feel like, should be, like if you're going to monetize and like build a business, it should be around what you give a fuck about, not stuff you hate.
Yeah. I mean, there's some sense of like if you were to go into cannabis and not be, oh, let me build a website and let me get product and let me meet farmers, you would hire someone to be your general manager / COO or something like that. You'd pay them a good salary, but they would be the knowledge hub. They would be the pothead. They would know the farmers. They would do everything like that, and you just pay them really, really well.
That can work, yeah.
Yeah.
It's just like when you're new in business, which I'm assuming most people are, it's like your first business.
Right.
Like, you probably shouldn't pick something you like. You're not going to be like a fucking tycoon, like hiring people. Yeah. You know, like you should probably pick something you like give a fuck about. Yeah. And you're an expert in, because people see right through you if you're talking about shit. Yeah. You're trying to do a make money online course and you like don't have any money.
Yeah. This girl I knew, she must have gotten an inheritance or something of like $50K. She wanted to start her own business, but she's pretty insecure. So she spent, I believe, $40K in a certain industry just on market research. She's like, I need to know everything about the market. Yeah. It's like, what, do you smoke weed? Well, sometimes, but I know it's going to be huge. It's going to be huge. If you have to do market research and spend money to like learn the market, you shouldn't be in the market. Yeah. Like, market research is for big funded projects, you know, like starting out with capital of like, I don't know, several $1 million. You should get into a market that you are currently a consumer of, because you know how the consumers think. You understand consumer behavior. Yeah. That wasn't obvious to me at the time I got into the pickup market, but being part of it, being a consumer, I spent money on workshops and books and stuff like that. I knew how people thought. Yeah. And then once I got the experience in it, I went back to like what people were thinking, and just,
I think it's pretty easy when you say like, what would I buy? And then it's like, well, if you're an expert in that field now because you've like bought a bunch of shit or you've like gone way out of your way to research it, like that's gonna be the easiest thing for you to market, and that's like your strength, I guess. So
yeah, one day, guys, I'll release a marketing course and I'll make people a lot of money. Like, it'll be just as good as the material on girls, but it depends on how that happens. Ideally, it's like this: kratom is recognized as a legal dietary supplement. Congress probably intervenes, or FDA somehow goes away or something like that. So Deoudes can chill. Okay. I'm going to get my business Hippo on autopilot. Because now it's just like, we try to just max out everything. And then I can really sit down. I'd probably take a break, and I'd come back and I'd look at a couple things. Committed relationships. I owe you guys that. How to make money in a few different looks, like how to create a website you never touch that makes you $2,000 a month. You know, build a few of them. Expectations of $2,000 a month, totally realistic. And then a big project like, how do you build a blog? And then there's like an e-commerce store. But these things are working together. You know, Good Looking Loser pushed to Hippo. You know, it was like, there was like a chain of of different things. One day, though. Yeah, one day.
Advice for a 23-year-old who has had lackluster results in both business and pussy and can't seem to handle both at the same time.
You shouldn't be handling both at the same time. You're 23 years old. I was a fucking moron when I was 23 years old. But learn why you're not doing good. I can tell you, like, you can't handle both at the same time. Yeah. You know?
Dude, I was trying to get pussy with less than $100 in my bank account at all times. Like, I was not.
Yeah.
The last thing on my mind was handling business. It was like working at a golf course for $8 an hour so I could pay for one drink per date for $5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. So. You need to, mentor's the bad word, but it's just like everyone's trying. Okay, so the average 20-something, young 21-year-old or something gets into business. He saved up $5,000 from working shitty jobs, and boom, it's gone in like 6 months. No one visits his website. No one buys his product, and he failed. I mean, it is, but unfortunately, that will be the last time he tries anything.
Yeah,
and it's like if I tried to go right up good-looking loser in my early 20s, which I couldn't because I didn't have experience, but if suppose I tried and it didn't work, well, I would be a different position now, totally.
Yeah.
So like I know with the gym and I know with girls and I know with business, it starts to come together though.
Yeah.
It starts to like make sense and you start to be like, oh shit, this is working.
Yeah.
But it's not early on.
Yeah.
Like 23, it's like, yeah, you're older than the teenagers, but you don't know shit.
Yeah.
You don't. So if you don't know shit, lower the expectations.
Yeah.
Just, I want to learn as much as I can, honestly, and focus on learning, not earning.
Yeah.
Because people have these quantitative goals that were never realistic in the first place. And it's just like, great, now it's going to make you quit forever.
Yeah. Yeah. Like if it were me and I was 23 and I hadn't done either of those things yet.
23, Jesus.
I would just, I would have done what I did when I started with GLL. I was like 20 or 19 or 20 at the time. It's not that much different. But it's like, you're still young as fuck. I would do the exact same thing and just focus on one thing. And it would probably be the pussy one first because money you can always get later. Youth and like chasing girls is kind of like, you don't want to be the guy who's like, socially introverted and like odd from being in his house for 5 years chasing money. Chasing money is arguably takes way longer to fucking like build a business and shit. You can like get your chase pussy phase done in like a year of like going hard with almost no money. So whereas you can't really do the business one and feeling like you have this like emotional void from not having pussy at the same time too.
A lot of people think that, okay, if I get rich, well, then I'm going to get girls because I got money and I'm confident. It's the other way around. When you can get girls, you can get fucking money.
Yeah.
Like, it's actually, no one talks about that relationship.
Yeah, you'll be like depressed getting the money because you have no chicks. And then like by the time you actually get it, you're like reliant on your money to get chicks. You don't even know how to talk to anyone. You've like not maxed out anything else in your life except that. And it's just like, I can't even imagine trying to like build a fucking business, like being super insecure about like not having chicks in my life. And like, cause that's like the phase you go through. You legit like think like when you first start, you actually like question if you're even like can get girls at all, like you don't even know if it's possible. And like, I can't even imagine going through, like it takes fucking years to become rich,
Yeah.
So,
but just that inverse relationship, people always talk about, oh, if I get money, then I'm going to get girls. Yeah. It's like, actually, if you get girls, then you'll get money.
And you'll be so emotionally unhealthy, even if you get the girls, like by the time you get the money.
Yeah. I'm just saying, I don't think I've ever kind of explored the relationship between getting girls and getting money. It's selling.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't want to be the insightful guy who's like, you're always selling, you're selling everywhere. But it is marketing, You market yourself as a man to to women and stuff like that. I hate thinking about it in that context, but you just like,
it sort of is though. It's like you are the product, and if the consumer like buys you, as in you like get laid or you get chicks,
right,
you're doing the right thing as far as improving yourself and your looks and your social freedom and whatnot.
Yeah.
And if you're not like getting bought, the market's telling you your product's not good enough and you need to fucking do something.
I'll tell you another reason too. I got a great girl, and I would attract different girls today than I would back when I guess I met her. She was 22. I was 26 or 27. On and off for a few years, and then committed, and then got married last summer. But I was with her when I was not wealthy, and I just think that I would attract different girls. Like now, it would it would be different.
Probably.
Yeah, it would. it would be different. So she's come up with me through like when we didn't have any money to, you know, being financially successful, and it would I don't know. I feel like I would meet different girls these days, given, you know, like the car and just different stuff.
I think the problem with that too is if you didn't do the whole like get laid phase early, when you meet those girls when you're in your 30s and rich, you might not have the emotional like health to even realize what they're trying to like. They might not even give a fuck about you. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Maybe desperate.
Yeah.
Even still, yeah.
Yeah, you'll like take the gold digger chicks and not realize you're like getting played.
Yeah.
So.
No, definitely.
Yeah.
And as far as relationships, and I have to get into this one day when I write up a series, it's like you're not necessarily going for the hottest girl. You're not necessarily going for best personality. You're not necessarily going for, you know, someone I have the most in common with. I think we talked about this on the last podcast, and I said like loyalty is the main thing. There's a different word for that. It's devotion. Did I say devotion last time or loyalty?
I think you said the same thing. I think you said the same thing.
Oh, both of them?
I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
I could be wrong though.
It's so true. It's just like when you see some of the guys that I know that were the very best with women, their actual like wives or something, it seems like they're like down a couple levels or something. And well, not much, but a little bit. Like one of the best guys I ever know is like, that's an exception. She's not pretty at all. But you wanna be with like girls they're gonna be attracted to marry a safe guy. You guys got to think along those lines too.
Yeah.
You know, you want a safe girl because it's just like, that's why it's silly when you evaluate someone who's older, who just got married, and like, oh, his wife is like, he can do better than that or something like that. There's so many more aspects that go into like relationship material than go into just one, you know, your one-nighters.
When I was like 20 and I just like cared about getting laid, I like almost didn't even care if the chick was a bitch. I'd be like,
oh yeah,
I'd be like, this chick fucking sucks.
It's great. It's a bigger field.
Yeah. In my head, I'd be like, I fucking hate this chick, but I'd be like, I'd still try and I'd still date her, to be honest. But now it's like it's not totally different. Like there still is like needs to be attraction and shit, but there's like so many levels that aren't accounted for when you're just like trying to knock this fucking phase out, honestly.
Yeah, so you don't have to like commit to a relationship. You can start working into the relationship territory when you're focusing more on business and stuff like that. But you know, you have higher standards now.
Yeah.
You know, next week you're gonna have higher standards. So it's good to meet girls when you're like you have higher standards. Now, that is an exception to where I'm at right now. I have higher standards now, but this was the tail end of like pickup, and I had real fucking high standards. Yeah, definitely. So, you guys are young out there, man. Like, what was I doing when I was 23? I was taking gear, going to the gym, drinking protein shakes, and jerking off. Like, if you're in a business and you're actually like online reading and stuff like that and trying to get things right, like, that's awesome, but it might not click for like 4 years.
Something I found interesting that I don't know if there's so like have you heard the statistic how your brain doesn't stop fully developing until you're 25?
Yep.
So like one thing I've realized when I was like 20, 21, 22, I like couldn't conceive in my head how to make money. Like just like even online, seeing you do it even.
Yeah.
Like cuz I was like, you know, around at that time too. I still couldn't like things that are just logical, like how do I start a business online? Fucking open a website.
Yeah.
Buy a domain. Set it up.
Figure it out.
Yeah, it's like a common sense answer that like you would give me. But
you'll
like,
know the next step.
You don't just like when you're that age, something about my brain, like I realize now, I think a lot more like common sense than I did back then. Like back then I like overcomplicated shit.
Yeah.
And like I was still on the get laid phase at the start of my 20s, but like I still remember when I was like 23, I was a bouncer downtown, and I still remember like emailing you before I even started my blog. I was like, what do you think's a good name? Like, should I do this? Should I do that? It's like, bro, like just fucking.
Did I not email you back?
No, I think you did, to be honest. I like sent you like 30 different fucking website names. I'm like, what do you think is the best one?
Oh, for your website.
Yeah.
I thought, like, what's your name to call yourself online or
no,
something.
No.
Like, how lame is this fucking name?
Yeah. Anyway, but it was like just like dumb shit. Like, oh, like, what do you do when like the WordPress does this? So like, what do you do for that? It's like, bro, just like fucking go, you know? And it's just like things like I couldn't like process in my head, like even like how to go about doing basic shit for some reason.
Yeah.
So like as much as like it sounds dumb, like you'll get more. I don't want to say you're gonna figure it out and just like let it come to you, because like you should like go after it. Yeah. But like I got smarter as I got like older.
Yeah.
So like when you get closer to 25, 26, you're gonna like figure shit out that just like didn't make sense when you were 23.
Yeah.
I don't know.
As extensive as Good Looking Loser is, and people say, oh yeah, you simplify things. That's true, but
it's like it is simple at the end of the day.
Yeah, but there's another level that GLO can't get you to, is like you actually doing it and experiencing it. It's like, whoa, that's actually even more simple than Chris even suggested. Like, then you have insight.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I dug this out of the closet. This was the legendary Good Looking Loser bandana, but it was also the bandana that I used to wear back when it was more fashionable in LA and hitting on girls and stuff like that. I had ripped like Affliction jeans. I had big legs and stuff like that. I had a biker jacket, this rosary, like crucifix on my jeans, and they were ripped. It was like these Ozzy Osbourne inspired Affliction jeans. And so I dug this out. I haven't worn this thing in years, I don't think, to put on for the video. But fashion is definitely different today than it used to be. And when GLO was coming up, it was like, obviously the Affliction stuff was a bit out, but nothing had been like quite replaced it yet.
Yeah.
So it was like in this like weird transition phase, and all of a sudden everything got skinnier and skinnier, more tapered, more everything. So I don't actually wear this bandana, but I'm just doing this for the thing. But it was cool. I mean, way back when, just, you know, having huge biceps, tight shirt, bandana, like it was a pretty fly look.
It's like almost then. Like a more not as.
I'm not stuck in the past. I'm just fucking around, honestly.
That's some peacocking.
Oh God.
So the last part of that guy is one of his things. What does your ideal day look like? What's your current schedule / how disciplined are you?
Well, like Derek, I wake up and go to sleep at a different time every day. I generally give it 17 to 20 hours every day. But caveat to that is I sleep like 8 to 10 hours a day. That it works for me, the long days, 18, 20 hours. When I'm able to sleep for a while, I'm not going to do my day on like 5 hours of sleep. Yeah. Even though the past 2 days, that's kind of what... Oh, you slept a long time last night.
I had to like...
But the night before, we both got like...
The last like 3 days before that, I was staying up for like 24 hours each day to make sure I could get on schedule for that flight.
Yeah.
But even when I'm just working normally, I'll work for like fucking 20 hours straight sometimes.
My ideal day and time, it's like a range. So... And it's not great for business because we miss emails during the day that normal people are up and like waiting a response on. Sometimes, not always. But I would go to bed 11 a.m. You know, I got Hippo set up for the day. I've gotten all my emails out, maybe a few responses. Go to bed 11 a.m. Wake up at 7 p.m. Walk downstairs. The girl has coffee ready for me. I make kratom, big glass of water. That's one of my favorite parts of the day, waking up and just taking kratom and having coffee. It's just like, it is always like pretty splendid, I guess you would say. Sit there on my laptop, generally not doing any emails, not doing any works, fucking around, going on the internet, some social media, check fantasy baseball, basketball, check, see how much money I lost gambling. And then either like working out after, so it's like, you know, then it's probably about 8 p.m. at that point. Hopefully work out maybe. That doesn't happen all that much. I have a whole gym in the house. It's like everything, big leg press, squat rack, everything. and then watch something with my girl at like 9 p.m., finish up at 10, shower, and then just like go to our warehouse and our facility, and I'm all alone there by myself at like 11 p.m. until like 6 in the morning, and that's when I get shit done. I'm all alone in this warehouse by myself. Only other person who's awake in the world is you. But no distractions, and yeah, that's awesome. I don't know.
Yeah.
I work better when the sun's down. Like, I don't know that we could be doing this podcast right now, like during the day.
No, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I just always done my best work at night.
Yeah. This is early for me.
Right.
It's usually.
Yeah. So what was there a second part of? I mean, those are just my sleeping hours. I'm pretty disciplined where I don't know. Well, am I? I don't know. I let my body just like deteriorate a lot, but I'm still going like 16, 20 hours a day on business, and
yeah,
I'm like, I just get everything done that I have to get done.
How have your habits changed in the past 5 years? I don't even know.
No, the same thing I do every day.
Yeah.
same.
The last like 3 years have been like a blur for me.
Oh yeah.
Just like doing the fucking same shit.
Yeah.
Like maybe I'm getting like better at like, certain things. I'm trying to like outsource certain things now and blah, 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 but it's like mainly the same shit.
It's 2 steps forward, 1 step back,
Yeah.
You definitely.
More or less.
Yeah, definitely. But it's like anything else in life. You see it like working eventually. And bodybuilding is like the first steroids and whatever. It's just like, wow, these 45-pound plates are, benching like 185. Like, this feels lighter. Like, this is working. It's like, it's a really special feeling inside. And you get that in business. You get that with girls. You're like, holy shit, this is working. I'm all in now, or I'm going to give it up. I'm going to go as hard as I can, and that's like, then you start flying.
Yeah, it's funny because that like feeling you get, it's like when you're first starting like anything, like your first like $100 online, or your first like number that you get from a chick, or your first like hitting 2 plates on the bench, like that shit that seems like not a big deal to a lot of people once you've done it all. Like back when you first did it, it was like the best fucking thing ever. Yeah. So.
I have some early like what were your first like early memories online that you're just like, wow, like I have a presence online. For me, I don't know, I just thought of this. It was the night of the election, and we're not talking Trump. We're talking Obama, like second term, when he faced off against Mitt Romney. So we're way back 2012, I guess.
Yeah.
And this one guy sent me $1,000 on PayPal.
Wow.
The note just said, "Thanks, Chris, for your help," or like for your advice. And I was like, whoa, shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, just this guy's like, I'm actually like connecting with some people that have means.
Yeah.
And I wrote him an email, and he probably was a real busy guy, so he really wrote me back. He wrote back like, nope, don't got to do anything for me. Blog is great, or something.
Oh, wow.
I was like, wow. And the next year around the same time, I think it was Thanksgiving or Christmas the next time, sent me another $1,000.
Jesus.
Yeah. It was, yeah.
Huh.
So that's
cool.
when I had a PayPal account. Or I don't have a PayPal account.
You will soon, though.
Yeah.
Let's see. Thoughts on daily use, Phenibut or Kratom?
No, man. Phenibut a couple times a month.
Yeah.
Now, I say that, but it was like for a good year or two, I took it every day.
Really?
Yeah, but as a maintenance, like 500 milligram dose.
Okay.
36 hours would go by, and then it would strike. It would be this like irritability that would be crazy. And I would take one little 500 milligram scoop, and it just washes it away. Didn't feel it, but it just got rid of that. And then I remember I caught the flu or something, and then I was able to just like spend a week in bed, and then when I woke up after, it was like, I'm off of it. Kratom every day.
I feel like it's hard to like suggest it when you would like know that there is some tolerance build up or dependence.
Well, Phenna, but absolutely not every day. No. Yeah. And I wouldn't even mix it with kratom unless very special.
Like, I'm not a kratom expert by any means whatsoever, but when people ask me, should I take kratom every day? I tell them, if you need it for pain,
right,
then yes. But if it's like just for like the sake of taking it, like, probably not.
No, I wouldn't do it. But it's different because I've been gaming the system the whole time. I've taken kratom every day for, I don't know, probably going on 9 years. But I also get to decide what my testosterone level is.
Yeah.
You know, so it definitely affects libido.
Yeah.
But, you know, if I want to, you know, just fix that.
Yeah, you can
fix that. Yeah, but the average person can't really.
Yeah, exactly.
And also, it's like, I don't have to go to work if I'm just like, I don't get off this, you know, spend a week home. Like, so, no. But yeah, if you need to take it every day, do it. But if you want to take it every day, it's not really like.
Yeah, yeah. Let's see. Any thoughts/experiences with hanging? I never did it, even though I've heard it work really well for people. Like, I've heard it's like dangerous if you're like way too. Like, if you don't go really careful about it, but
I got up to, I think, about like 25, like the 25-pound plate.
Oh, you actually did it?
Yeah, I did it for a while, and then I would take. Now again, this is before like GLL and all that kind of stuff. So the hanging thing was like this weird thing, and it had like teeth on it. I take it off, my dick's all like all deformed and stuff. I'm like, it can't be good.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But I think maybe it's like improved. But like with PE, like bathmate using the shower, okay, I can take a shower and I wear this thing. Even with the extenders, I can like sit here and I can work and do that. With hanging, I'm just standing there, like in the corner, like looking around. Like, I guess maybe you could watch
like
TV.
Jelking and shit was sort of like.
Oh yeah, that took up.
Dude, I literally remember sitting on my couch in my room, like watching Netflix shows, like jelking, because it was like a fucking extra workout, and I'd be watching like Dexter, like Breaking Bad, like jelking.
That's funny. Yeah, no, that's a good example. The discoloration that I got was not from bathmate; it was from jelking.
Oh really?
100%. Yeah, yeah. It kind of comes with the territory, though. I guess some guys do PE and they don't have it, but it's like, if you don't want to get discoloration, it's like, don't do anything but stretch then.
Right.
Know?
Huh.
I don't care.
Yeah, I never saw you talk about stretching like in your guides or anything, so I didn't even know you had experience with it.
Oh yeah. No, definitely. That's the best thing for length.
This guy actually just said, how much can I expect to gain if I use only the bathmate?
Well, if you're new to PE, and check out Derek's bathmate page. If you're new to PE, I would say within 6 months you gain a ½ inch, and then girth on that you can gain. When it's all said and done, if you use it every day for like a couple years or something, you could gain an inch or more, and then girth you can gain like
a decent amount,
or almost an inch and a half. Yeah,
like quick too, like pretty damn quick, because it's like.
And then you can pump yourself up for sex too, and just be like enormous.
Yeah,
yeah.
That's like, that was the main reason I used it.
Right.
Just like, it was funny because I remember one time there was a chick I was seeing, and then like I didn't use it when I first slept with her, because it's not like you always know when you're gonna get laid, and if you go on dates like every fucking day almost, you're not gonna do bathmate every day.
I would do it every day. I was so into it.
I didn't have the time though. Like, I was a full-time student. I worked out. I was like super into like gear and shit too. So I'd like time it for like only before sex pretty much. But I remember she was like, one time we were fucking, she's like, did your dick get bigger? I was like, no, what are you talking about? I was like, yeah, it did.
I would tell the girl, I'd be like, yeah, like you're really turning me on. Look how fucking wide this thing is. And they'd be like, oh, all right, yeah.
Oh man, I remember I listened to some like audio clip you had on your site. I don't know if it's still up there, and it was like, this is what bathmate sex is like, or some shit.
Oh yeah. And that's what I did it.
Yeah. Let's see. Do you recommend cold approaching in this Me Too era?
Yeah, but it's different. You just like, so every guy today is like a pussy. So you don't have to have this like real, alpha dude grab her hand super quick, approach.
Yeah, how would like your screening like change if you were like, say you were 21 or 22, 23, 24 and doing this again right now?
It'd be like mostly verbal. Although like when you shook a girl's hand, maybe you'd hold it a little bit longer. I mean, Scotty was the pioneer of like literally just like grab a girl's hand, just no hands, just grab her hand, hold her hand, and don't let go of it. So yeah, these days, Me Too, you could approach and you could
I think a lot of it probably still comes down to if you're good looking, you're not probably that creepy, but if you're not good looking, then whatever you do is creepy.
Instinctually, it'll always be that way. But you can do verbal kind of stuff, I would say. You know, introduce yourself. It could be the same shit. You know, I saw you over there. I don't do this very much. You know, don't hashtag me too.
Yeah.
Or you talk to a girl for a little while and be like, you want to meet up for a drink?
Yeah.
That means you want to meet. That's a polite way to have.
Like, I don't think I would change. I never did like really aggressive screening though, so it's a bit different. But like, I wouldn't have changed anything I did. But it was like I would still cold approach. Like, put it that way.
Here's the thing though: when you approach the hot girls, they're not going to be feminists, you know. So they're not going to try to Me Too you. They're not going to say, "Oh, he raped me with his eyes" or something, unless you kind of take things a bit far.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you're approaching the short-haired girl with a nose ring and a pink hat, like she's so you got to know your customer type of thing.
Yeah.
So the hot girls aren't going to do that to you. Hot girls love being feminine. They love the attention from men. But in this era, yes, where everything is rape, keep your hands to yourself. But it doesn't take much. I mean, you've been talking about this for a while, to stand out from the average guy these days.
Oh, yeah.
The competition is none.
Yeah.
None.
And I think, I don't know, some people would argue otherwise, but I feel like just like the fact that the Me Too shit like scares people away from cold approach stuff.
Yeah.
And everyone's like so obsessed with being on their phones 24/7 is so like introverted and like everyone's just like in their house trying to do everything online now.
Yeah.
It like opens up the field more for like the actual men to like talk to people again.
Right.
Like, granted, obviously being online is efficient as fuck if you have like good pictures.
Right.
So like still do it. But I mean, if you see a hot chick walking at the grocery store, like you're not gonna go fucking find her Instagram and DM her like she's right in front of you. Like, you're gonna stand out by talking to her.
The best efficiency though is a bar and living within walking distance of it. Not a nightclub, but a bar. Then that'll always beat online. That'll always beat grocery store stuff. You tend to find the higher quality chicks during the day though. But if your shit's just like, I want to get some girl back to my place twice a week or something, bar, walking distance, let's go for a walk right outside. Oh, you want to, I'll make you a drink. My place is right up there. Let's get it's hot in that bar. Let's go get some air conditioning. Yeah, just that same routine.
Yeah. Having a fucking blueprint of that same place too is like
the pickup analysis guys would always say that like I was boring or something, and I'm just like,
that's like the point.
That's
every date I did was the same date, just like a different chick, pretty much. Like it was the same fucking place a lot of the time, the same drink I would get, the same conversation.
The whole like be exciting and be a performer. It's not how it really works.
Do you remember your mystery fucking or like PUA parody video you did in like I don't know if it was like a mall, and you were like, I'm gonna show you guys like a revolutionary technique, and then you're like, want to see a magic trick to like some mannequin?
Oh yeah. That was one of the first videos I did. Yeah,
that was an old one.
Yeah, it's kind of sad because like I had a lot like back in the day when I was doing this, and I got some really good content that I lost too. Pulling this girl out of the Cheesecake Factory and back to my car. I actually got that on video, but when I went to look at the video, you like see the top, you don't even see shit.
Oh really?
And I took the camera and I threw it on the ground. I just broke it. I was so mad. I was so mad because that was like
great footage, or it could have been.
It was like it would be the first stealing the whole fucking deal on a hidden camera that I've ever seen.
Yeah.
So that sucked. I almost like gave up everything after that. That was so bad. It was like it's hard enough to, and that's the thing. It's like my definition of like being able to get laid is like you go out 3 times a week and you get one girl. Maybe it's 1 out of 2 if you're on a hot streak or whatever. But but you think it's like, well, that's not that much. 1 out of 3 times going out, and you're talking to a lot of girls too. That's at least like 30, 40 girls.
Yeah.
But you get laid twice a week. That's 100 in a year. And I've never gotten 100 in a year just from cold approach. Like 100 in a year, yes, but not just
Yeah.
So
even
how much that is so fucking much.
Yeah.
Plus, you're gonna see some of these girls again, hopefully.
Even when I was like full blown in the cold approaching, it's like a significant majority of my results still came from online. But it was like it didn't like discourage me from cold approaching because a lot of the results from some of the cold approaches were like the best chicks I'd find sometimes. Yeah.
So. No, it's when I was doing it hard full time. Like there was no Tinder. We didn't have that. It was the beginning stages of like OkCupid and Plenty of Fish. But I was making it work really good, and I was just like, oh, however bad it might go out tonight, when I go out tonight, I still have this fucking thing right here, this website. I can supplement it. So just chill. I'm gonna be on dates every day this week.
Yeah.
If it doesn't go good, so I'd go out and I actually do well.
Yeah.
Because I'm just like, like it was sort of a safety net, but
when you feel like you
kids
have
are
that,
spoiled
though,
today, though. They have like this Tinder thing and they don't have to fucking try.
Yeah.
But I hear it's hard. I've never had a Tinder account. I never got on there. If you see me on there, it's not me.
Anybody who says it's hard doesn't have good pictures, though. If you have good pictures, it's easy as fuck.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. It's like the exact same shit as Plenty of Fish back in
right.
the day.
Yeah.
Granted, I've always found Plenty of Fish, at least now, it's like there's like tiers of what you would expect from somebody you're meeting on Plenty of Fish versus like Tinder. Like there's like an expectation that sort of it's like more sleazy Tinder, and it's like for getting laid versus Plenty of Fish. It's sort of like you get the impression that chicks are, you actually have a full bio that like has like what you do for a living and shit.
Tinder's
and like
just a picture.
Yeah, it has like your height, it has like your body type and shit, and like like a sort of like a thing that details your personality. So it's like if you're somebody who has like a good job, or you're like, there's more to you than just your pictures, like POF will get you better results than Tinder. Tinder's just like the pure definition of if you're good looking or not. Yeah, but it's a very good reflection of what the market thinks of you. As like, like a product. Yeah. Because if you can't get results on,
assuming you look like your pictures.
Yeah, that too.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you have eHarmony and Match and stuff like that. So yeah, coming up, like we really didn't have online dating. We had the very first primitive versions of like Plenty of Fish and OkCupid. And there weren't that many girls on it. It was still like a taboo thing, like I meet online people.
That's crazy.
So it was like we were fucking scrapping in the mall and stuff. Like we had to do that. Like today, Tinder, it's like, easy people have it. And with tech in general.
And it's like because it's a numbers game too. The problem with like beginning days POF was like, even though it's a numbers game, you'd legitimately run out of people to talk to very quickly in your area. Whereas with Tinder, it's like you're pretty much dealing with the same population of people you'd cold approach, but like on an app now.
Yeah.
Like, and you don't run out. Really?
Oh, really?
Yeah. If you're in like a densely populated city, it's like you'd have to like really fucking suck to get through the whole app without getting laid.
Yeah. People have asked me to do a Tinder guide. I'm just like, honestly, I can't do that. Like, I'm married. Like, I'll never get the insights. I'll never be like going on these Tinder dates or whatever and really taking the pulse of the girl. You don't get that from. Yeah. I can't write a guide on something I didn't do.
What's weird is OkCupid, like, even to this day, when I was last on it anyways, it's still, like, weird. It really, I've had, like, I actually found some really good chicks that I've dated, like, long-term on that site, but it was always, like, the fucking, like, diamond in the rough, and that site was, like, the weirdest site ever. And I always did it just because it was, like, another supplemental thing.
Right.
But it was always like the weirdest, like feminist, bisexual, like identify as a cat fucking weirdos. You know what I mean? Not that anyone actually does that, but like, identify as some weird shit.
That was a Cupid. Like I had this like screening thing that I would sort of do on there. I'm trying to remember what I would do, but it was like I was really filtering girls for like just like hookups, and I do it later in the night. So we get this chat or something, and I'd have to remember the questions that I asked, but it was like I'm like, if they respond, then they're interested. Like I wouldn't do it right off the bat. You know,
I had this one thing, and it was like the sleaziest line, pretty much, like when I was like lazy as fuck, and I was like, you're either in or out on this, and it was like a really easy way to cut to the chase. It was like, what the fuck was it?
I can't remember mine either.
Mine was short and sweet too, and it was like way better than just saying like DTF. It was like a clean way of saying it that people found like sort of funny. I think it was like, fuck. What was it? But it actually like worked, and that was the crazy thing. It was like one sentence, and like in an hour you'd have like the chick over.
Yeah.
But you need good pictures, and you'd blow out a lot of chicks that you might have otherwise gone on dates with.
Right.
What the fuck was it? It was like I don't know. It was like something just like, I'm gonna butcher it. That's the problem. I don't want to like
gotta give what it is because the words.
Have you ever seen the Armageddon opener? It's like an RSD thing, I think. And it was just like, I'm pretty sure it's an RSD thing. And it's like a paragraph you cut and paste. And it's like, I know this seems weird, haha, but honestly, I just like, you seem really cool. And like, I think we should like sleep together. And like, it comes off like so fucking beta and like innocent. But some chicks actually like, if you mass message it, it works.
Yeah.
That's like a bad example of what I'm trying to remember that I used to do. Cause mine was like, I remember reading that. And it was like something straight out of like the game sort of thing.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck, that's really weak.
There's certain like levels of stuff. One thing I had a lot of success with, I never wrote really about it, was going up to girls that were a little bit below my level, average or slightly above, because I took really good care of myself. I was a little bigger than I probably wanted to be, but I would go up to them and say, hey, so like I'm pretty shy, and honestly I'm a little bit nervous right now, but I kind of thought you were cute. I wanted to see what would happen if I came to say hi to you. And like, they're not, what are they going to reject on that? You know, nothing.
And like some guys think that's like beta, but it's like when you're like a fucking overtly like masculine dude who's like massive, it probably like plays in your favor. Cause you like a lot of guys would comment and they're like, what the fuck? Like, why would you do that? But it's like, if you're 6'3" or
you don't look shy and you don't look like you
like you probably like take her guard like down, because she's like, holy shit, this guy's like some fucking juice head, like aggressive psycho.
You're right.
You know?
Yeah.
So like from that's not gonna work for everyone, but like for you it did, obviously. And
it kind of goes, and they know. That's the thing. The girls like that I did, and I'm sleeping with, like, from that thing. Yeah. They were, and they don't care. They're just like, after you sleep with them, they're like, what? So like, you came up to me and you said you don't really do that, and I'm like, no, I don't. And like, you're lying. You know, they don't care at that.
But it's like they need that like excuse to,
yes.
You know, they can't just go with the guy that's like, you want to fuck, you know? Like they would never do that, even though they might be down in their head.
Yeah.
You know?
And it never got me, I don't think, into like relationship territory. You know, when you use like a nice guy approach, like when you've just made yourself like boyfriend material. Not necessarily, you know, it's all what your hands are doing, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah. That was my big obstacle, I think, the biggest obstacle because I was more attractive before I got into pickup, but I was like boyfriend material, you know? That's why I got that long post on it. It's like, you don't want to look like just fucking boyfriend material. You're not gonna get the quick hits. You're not gonna get that. So, yeah.
Do people in Chris's social circle know about GLL?
What social circle? No, well, H3H3 made a bunch of videos on Ethan Klein. Is that his name? Yeah. He made a bunch of videos on me, and a lot of people see those before they know about me or whatever. Yeah. Social circle, shit. Like, Derek's my social circle, you know. So yeah, he does. Yeah. On average, though, like the person that I would meet, like who's friends with maybe my girl, probably, but they don't ever bring it up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And they probably think it's weird. They're just like, this guy lives like a secret life.
Yeah, they don't get that it was like a phase like a while ago.
Yeah.
College after the military. I'll be going in at 22. Still worth it?
Well, how much you paying for it? Because that's the thing.
I feel like it depends what you're going for. If you're like trying to get like, if you're going for the party aspect, or you going to become a fucking doctor, are you going just for the sake of going? Like,
yeah, and then are you getting it paid for? Because like when I ended up transferring to the University of Florida, I got a scholarship to the business school. This is undergrad. I wasn't paying anything. It was like, I don't know, $4,000 a semester or something.
Mm-hmm.
It was great. So yeah, that was. But if you're mortgaging your future and it's gonna be $120K or something, no.
Yeah.
No.
And even if you think you like need to go there for the party aspect, like maybe you're not gonna be at as many parties on your own, but you can like make that lifestyle easily, not having to be attending a college.
You got fucking Tinder.
Yeah.
Kids have Tinder these days.
You can still go to the fucking college and hit on the chicks there.
Yeah.
You know, like you don't have to attend the school to do that.
Yeah.
And a lot of guys don't realize. They're like, oh, I don't. Like, I want to go to, like, fucking University of whatever, like, this college. It's like, well, fucking...
If it's cheap, try it for a year, though, you know? But I'll tell you, it's coming in... I guess you'd come in as a freshman. I mean, technically by credits, but are you going to come in with the whole freshman class? Because freshman orientation is really important. Like, you meet usually the people who are going to be your friends for the next 4 years. So, just comes down to the cost, though. Is it worth it? Well, you have to, you know, what's the expense? Type of thing. So I wouldn't say college is definitely like not worth it. If you could go for free, well, you know, who cares? But if it's, you know, 150 grand.
Yeah. And if it's like, I think it sort of depends on what the college is too. Cause like I've never been to a traditional, like, you know, party school.
Yeah.
Like I could easily tell you that I would have had the same social experience not going to university than I would have going to university. But that's because I went to a fucking boring school, so it kind of depends on that too.
Yeah,
like where are you going?
Just if there's a school where there's more hot girls around, you think your odds are better. They're not. If you don't have your shit together, you don't. If anything, you'll be more fucking frustrated.
Yeah, like Chris was friends with Dan fucking Bilzerian, and he like still wouldn't even do what you know you were capable of doing. So,
oh yeah, I mean, yeah,
that's just like a perfect example of like if you're not gonna, you know, step up to the plate and like make moves.
Yeah, I was always like working towards something, and it's like when I get there and I'm this % by fat, well then I'm gonna go do this. You can't live your life that way. Not just pick up or whatever. You can't be like, okay, so I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna get money, and then I'm gonna use the money to do this. And no, it's just like do whatever the fuck you're trying to do. Just do that.
Yeah,
you know. And sometimes it's not possible. Like you want to plan things out, but it's kind of like I do this and I get this and I do this. It sounds real good on paper, but you know, it's like I'm 2 years of training and then I'm gonna do pickup. It's like when you get there, you're like, you know, it's just not.
Yeah.
Whatever you want to do it now. Start doing it.
Yeah,
now.
definitely.
Yeah.
That's all the questions that I think are relevant.
I hope we were good. I told Derek that like maybe we should talk more about business and money because like that's where we're living these days.
Yeah.
But it is fun to talk about the other like pickups.
I like going back to it personally, to be honest.
Yeah, it's not. I like going back to it, but I feel like I'm not as like quick with it. And they're like, "Dude, you wrote Good Looking Loser." Like that's 10 years.
Yeah.
It's a story about what I did 10 years ago, though.
Yeah.
You know, maybe I wrote it like 6 years ago, but it's like about 10 years ago. And I feel that
it's like I'm not even the same person I was when I was like approaching at like 21 and shit. Like if you in that situation now, it's like I don't have the same mindset I did then. I'm like on a totally different plane of life than I was then.
What advice would you give to your former self, to 21-year-old?
Start earlier. Like I started at like 19, but I would have said start even earlier. Like get that shit done. I honestly don't really have any regrets because I like went fucking hard quick and I don't know.
You can't be. I mean, you like financially, you're better off than, you know, people twice your age, easy. So you
I really have like no regrets personally, but that's more so like I guarantee if I was at my age now and I hadn't done either, I would be like I should have started earlier. And that's the thing. I can just tell guys as far as my advice would be, whatever like is very important to you, like go do it like right now.
If your definition of getting laid is the same as mine, where it's like you can go out to any venue or bunch of venues 3 times, every 3 times you could bring a girl home, and do it for like a year, right? So that's probably putting you between 40 and 60. You're not going to do it every week, but that's a lot. That's a lot.
Yeah.
So if you get there, it's possible.
Yeah.
Expectations, you got to keep them in check, especially that first year. Yeah. You're not gonna get laid like 1 out of every 3 times in the first year.
Yeah.
But it is one thing you're not gonna do is every time too, and that's when I started to pick up. That almost knocked me out. I was like, I thought this was like every girl every time.
That was sort of under the same impression. I was like, well,
I read that fucking book and
yeah, fuck.
Yeah, so like. I'm a little less about like, set goals and then set the steps to achieve the goals. Because we don't do it that way. No. You learn the steps along the way. You don't know the steps, especially in business. The guys that like write up business plans and shit, do market research. It's like, no.
Even the pickup stuff, if you try to like follow a concrete guideline, you get fucked up in your own head trying to copy somebody else that like screws up your process. Like you have to just like go do it yourself and like build your own
It's
steps.
the little nuances, that
like I tried to copy his style of approaching when I first started, and like it very quickly like transformed into like my own style that like you can't just try and like replicate your like whoever you're idolizing or whoever you think has like done it. Like you can use them as like a blueprint of like somebody who's achieved something that you would, aspire to. But like at the end of the day, achieving something, there's no like fucking do this and you achieve this. It's like you gotta go out and like kind of figure it out.
We're back up on the pickup thing, and like we're my guy was that Brad P.
Yeah.
Now he wanted to have nothing to do with me after it was all said and done because he thought I was the biggest drug addict. But I learned quite a bit from him, and he can tell, and quite a bit of success from him. The one insight that I had from him was, so there's this, I don't know if this subculture still exists, like where it's like looks are the only thing that matters or something like that. There's that looksism crew. And obviously they do, but I found from the guys that I know get laid a lot, some of them are good looking, but most of them are just fucking cool. Like, and they apply that. They're like fun to be around. Yeah. That's why chicks want to be around them. Yeah. They get drunk around them, and then they go into a room sometime later.
Yeah.
So it's like if you're not great looking or whatever, I would probably do, if I got myself, I need to get a little bit back in shape more and everything like that. But I'm not as good looking now as I was in my 20s. No one is, but I would do better now. I would, but it would take like 6 months, a year to put it back together.
Yeah,
it really would. So your first year, it's not going to be, your expectations gotta be in check. Mm-hmm. If nothing happens in the first year, but you can go up to 9 out of 10 girls, that was my definition of beating approach anxiety. You can go up to 9 out of 10 girls, not even 10 out of 10 girls. Yeah. But you've largely beat approach anxiety. You can go up to 9 out of 10 girls. So if that takes you a year to get that done, like that's good.
Yeah,
that's really good, because how many guys and how many goals like the next year, their New Year's resolution's the same goddamn thing.
Yeah.
So expectations, honestly, it's possible though. Like it is. Like you're how old are you again? You told me.
Just turned 27.
Okay, you're living the dream at 27. Let me think. 27.
Had you started GLL yet, or was that 28?
Yeah, I started GLL. You are, in terms of age and income, a year and a half ahead of me. So, but you don't have regrets. You didn't toil away doing stupid shit or, get the job after college, go into a bunch of debt. Like you didn't do that. So like one of the posts I have just is success, honestly, in like your late 20s is based on like not fucking up your early 20s. Yeah. Like maybe you don't become the man, have the sex, get the money as you want age 20 to 25. Yeah. But as long as you don't avoid the serious pitfalls of getting into a lot of debt, I don't know. I have a whole list of them, but yeah, in your early 20s, it's about not fucking up. That's not having a kid. It's not getting married. It's not getting it's not mortgaging your future on like a big school debt. So I just found like you didn't fuck up in your early 20s. Maybe you start earlier, but largely like, what if you had some big debt hanging over your head?
Yeah.
I mean, do you have college loans?
No.
Okay, that's great. That's lucky.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you're plugging along early 20s, just I gotta find what isn't it like 20 ways to ruin your fucking life or something? It's on GLL Lifestyle. Yeah, how to like not ruin your life or something, or how to ruin your life or there's like 12 different things I say that are the biggest reasons that people just become. They don't even have a chance to be like financially successful with girls.
They like tie themselves to some fucking like problem that ruins their life for the next 30 years, and before they know it, they're out of the game. They can't play. So that pretty much. I think we pretty much fucking covered everything. So that's solid. If you guys made it to the end, you guys are true fucking fans, and we appreciate you. And thank you for watching. Subscribe to Chris at Good Looking Loser. Not that he really posts anymore, but you might as well check his shit out. He'll be back at
my blog. It's all pretty much relevant today.
Yeah, exactly. I learned fucking the majority of stuff I know from his blog, so I highly recommend go to goodlookingloser.com. Even stuff from 2012 applicable still.
Yeah, I would say so. Some of the more aggressive stuff is, and I had to take down videos and different things a little bit, but it all still works. And Derek, I gave him a start. He says he learned all this stuff from me, but actually he taught it to himself with just kind of give him permission. The guy, the guru, whatever that I looked up to, Brad, like he just gave me permission. Scotty gave me permission to do shit that I already like. Yeah.
It's almost like you just need to find somebody you relate to enough that's like gives you the motivation to just do what's within yourself already.
Cool. Like it makes it cool because blogging didn't used to be like cool, Yeah. It used to be like kind of dorky shit, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, but like I don't know, online. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening.
Yeah. Take it easy, guys. Talk to you soon.